It's time for the WEOL Gridiron Clash, streaming live on WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram's YouTube channel. Tonight, the Avon Eagles take on the Glenville Tarblooders. It's brought to you by Nick Abraham Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street. Eco Tree Services, your complete tree care company. And by Stewart's TV and Appliance, 468 Cleveland Street in Elyria.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with zero down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about Eco Tree Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted Eco Tree. They did an incredible job. The folks at Eco Tree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me, when your trees need attention or even require removal, contact Eco Tree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find Eco Tree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
And good Friday to everybody. Happy Friday, I should say. Welcome on into Avon, home of the Eagles and home for tonight's WEOL Gridiron Clash. We are live on the all-new WEOL.com. We're also on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Rocco Nushi, Tom Evans in the house here with you. High atop the bleachers here at Avon. Jared Kozar, our on-site engineer. Gary Pelter atop his perch in the bleachers here right below us, as he'll be handling camera duties this evening, as it is the Avon Eagles fresh off their trip down to Florida, where they took a rare loss to Spruce Creek. They're back at home looking for some redemption tonight as they welcome in for the fifth year in a row the Tarblooders of Glenville. They come in with a record of 2-0. Avon again 1-1 on the season. Again, Rocco Nushi, Tom Evans here with you, Jared Kozar, Gary Pelter all on site with you as well. And Tom, this should be a really interesting matchup here tonight, one that was really good a year ago. 13-12 was the final score. We kind of had our, pregame social media video where you had talked about the two-point conversion at the tail end of things there. Glenville thought they had it, maybe thought they deserved the win in that one. They didn't get it. So now here they are about a year later, looking for redemption here at Avon. But if we know anything about Mike Elder and his Eagles, they're not really going to be ready to give that redemption to Glenville anytime soon.
Exactly. And Rocco, I'm going to add a new feature to the broadcast.
Uh-oh.
The Lorain County traffic update. If you are anywhere near Stony Ridge Road, you want to divert, okay, because it is a packed house here. They got here early. I live 10 minutes away. It took me 45 minutes to get here. You guys got me settled down. I was a little bit wired up afterwards, but we're ready to go. No, talking about last year's game. Last year's game played in just a rain constantly for the 48 minutes. And again, Coach Ginn at the two-point conversion kind of went down the sideline and pointed to the pylon. He thought he had the two-point conversion. They won't use that as redemption. They just use that as fuel. And if you take a look at what Ted Ginn's done at Glenville, that's just more fuel to the fire for them. They love this game. Mike Elder loves this game as well. This is a game that's going to go on for a long, long time, as long as Mike Elder and Ted Ginn are the head coaches of these two schools.
Well, we've talked about this over the years with Avon specifically, just because of how successful the program is. I guess maybe the size of their roster as well. It can be tough to schedule local games for them, right? We've seen them take on, I think Medina was on their schedule at one point in time. That game has since been dropped. So I guess that's why we've seen Avon take numerous trips down south all the way to Florida to try to squeeze some non-conference action in before jumping into that SWC gauntlet. That was the case last week. 2 Thursday night games to start the season for Avon. Tom, how about that? The home opener, of course, week 1. We were here for it against St. Ignatius. Blew out the Wildcats in that one. And then again last Thursday they were down, I forget where exactly in Florida Spruce Creek is. Daytona Beach, I believe, is kind of roughly the area in which they were, talking with Coach Elder earlier this week. But they lose to the Hawks of Spruce Creek 25-22. So Avon, they're looking to get back on track this week. Tom, that broke a 17-game win streak that the Eagles had. You had to go all the way back to the 2023 State Final Four, the last time the Eagles had suffered a defeat in a football game.
Yeah, the Akron Hoban, and we were there for that one as well. And just talking about this this game, that you had mentioned Medina, and we talked to Mike about that a couple years ago, and he was so disappointed that Medina did not want to continue on because two great communities, two great fan bases, nice distance between the two programs really doing well. So, Mike was disappointed. He loves building rivalries, and he loves good football games, and he wants to challenge his kids constantly. Glenville's certainly going to give him a challenge tonight.
Well, I mean, you figure the way Medina packs the bleachers down there at Ken Duke's, right, and the way they fill it up here at Avon, that could make for a really electric Friday night atmosphere, and it did. Not to say that tonight won't be, right? I think fans are still trickling in, especially on those away side bleachers for Glenville. But, yeah, certainly should be a good atmosphere here tonight. Should be a fantastic football game on top of everything else.
Yeah, don't sell the Glenville fans short. They were here early. They were doing some tailgating out in the parking lot as I got here. I was going to stop by, spend a little time with them, but I thought I'd better get up here. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging too long.
Well, we appreciate that, Tom. We appreciate that. So with that all in mind, we'll be back with some more thoughts. But before that, we want to get to Avon head coach Mike Elder. He'll join us after this quick timeout. Had a chance to sit down with him earlier this week, talk about that trip to Florida, kind of talk about this matchup here tonight, again, rounding out the non-conference against the Tarblooders of Glenville before they jump into the SWC Gauntlet next week. So with that being said, we'll be right back with more of the pregame show. It is the WEOL Gridiron Clash. Avon welcoming in Glenville tonight here in Week 3. You're watching live right here on the all-new WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. We'll be back.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
Back here on the all-new WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, it's the pregame show here in Week 3 as the Avon Eagles at home get set to take on the Tarblooders of Glenville. And we're joined now here in the pregame by Avon head coach Mike Elder. Coach, you guys are fresh off a Week 2 visit down to Florida where you took on a very, very good Spruce Creek team. I believe I saw they were the top team in their county, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, you guys gave them a fantastic ball game. It comes up short for you guys on the end of things there. But, how was that trip for you guys, right? Getting a whole high school football team down to Florida. Not the first time that you guys have done that in my tenure here at WEOL. So, just results aside, I guess, from the game, how was the trip for you, the guys, and how was kind of, getting back to a routine this week back here in Northeast Ohio?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun for sure, but challenging when you take your group of high school kids 1,000 miles from home to play a high school football game. There's a lot of obstacles to overcome, but I thought our kids were very mature. They had a great time. The result isn't what we wanted, but, the experience of going and playing in a hostile environment, in basically Daytona Beach is where that game was played.
Wow.
So we stayed in Orlando on Universal Studios properties, but had an hour bus ride too when we played the game. So, and then we dealt with a little bit of delay, with weather, and there was just some stuff that it really never felt like we got into a good flow. But in the end, I think we're going to grow and learn from the experience. And the truth is, Spruce Creek's a good football team. They got 4 Division I players on defense, a couple on offense, and they're going to win 9 or 10 games down there this year. And so we came down to the wire, had a 2-minute drill where we came up short with a missed field goal, and we're kicking ourselves for a lot of things that probably led up to it that even let it get to that point. So, but we learned and we grew, and it was a great competition, and now we're ready to get back at it here at home and play our first Friday night game, which feels good.
Yeah, that's right. I hadn't even realized that for you guys. You started the season on a Thursday night at home against St. Ignatius. You get the win there, and then you played last Thursday down in Florida. So, yeah, I guess good to get back to a Friday routine for you guys. You talked a lot in the Chronicle Telegram postgame comments about your running back, Cam Wendell, and I know you've got kind of a dynamic running back group in your offensive backfield, Coach. But with Cam specifically, obviously, again, an electric performance from him
last week down in Florida. What are kind of your thoughts on him through the first 2 weeks of the season?
Well, Cam Wendell and Keontae Smith are both returners for us, and they both got lots of carries a year ago on a team that made it to the final game. So, they bring that experience with them. And what's great about that experience is they understand, how hard it is against great competition to be successful, and they don't get frustrated. They just keep chipping away. And, Cam had the hot hand in the last game, and did a great job for us, scored 3 touchdowns, and had close to 100 yards rushing. So, I'm proud of him, but, he would point out that the offensive line did a great job as well. And I'm glad to have those guys as returning starters.
I know defensively, speaking of returning starters, you had some changes on that side of the ball. I mean, you have them on both sides of the ball every year with high school football. I know you know that, but with your defense specifically, I know that was kind of an area that you were looking at throughout the summer. What are your thoughts on that side of the ball after the first 2 weeks, Coach?
I think we have the potential to be a really good defense, but, potential doesn't win games. We played St. Ignatius and played exceptionally well, but, Ignatius had some CQ exchange issues and problems that made life a little easier for our defense, and they'd be the first ones to admit that. And then last week they faced a really good Spruce Creek offense, that had a dynamic slot receiver, a quarterback who could throw it and run it, and a really, really good running back and a big offensive line. So, I thought we played well. We played well enough to win, but there was 3 situations in the game where 3rd and double sticks, they converted and ended up getting points out of that. And one was a 4th and 18 they converted on us. So that's uncharacteristic of our defense, but you got that stuff on film, and I think we'll grow and learn from it. And I do believe we can be a great defense this year.
Coach, also wanted to ask you about Lance Dawson, your senior defensive end. I know he's committed to go to Cincinnati, and I know he's been a big integral part of your defense for a while now, but seems like he's maybe taking, or has taken, I should say, a step forward this season. I've just been very, very impressed with what I've seen in the couple of social media and YouTube highlights and clips that I've seen of him. What have you made of Lance's game so far this season?
Well, I think Lance, he was new to football as a sophomore, so he never really played football until his sophomore season, and last year was a big learning curve as a junior where he actually contributed and played, but he rotated in on a very senior-dominated defensive line. And this year, he grew 2 inches, put on 45 pounds in the offseason, and obviously had a lot of Division I schools interested in him playing because of his, his athleticism, and he's playing at a high level right now, and we need him to, and when he demands 2 blockers, then that helps our linebackers and the other defensive linemen out. So couldn't be more proud of him. He's had really 2 good football games so far, and we're going to need him to continue that if our defense is going to play to the level we need it to win championships.
Coach, as you guys get set for Glenville tonight, rounding out the non-conference, and you guys always put together an incredibly challenging non-conference. We've talked about the reasoning for that over the years. And I guess to kind of put you on the spot a little bit here, is there an area or 2 in particular that, regardless of opponent, obviously, Glenville's a very tall task tonight, but with this non-conference finale, are there a couple things that you'd like to see cleaned up or at least, I guess, improved upon as you get ready for the SWC gauntlet starting next week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that, when you play really good teams like we have the first 2 weeks and now add Glenville to that the first 3 weeks, you're going to get exposed in some areas. And, I always tell our guys things are never as good as they seem and things are never as bad as they seem. And the truth's somewhere in the middle. And what I don't want our group to do is lose confidence because they've played, 2 outstanding defenses, and Glenville will be the 3rd right now offensively. But the beauty of our team is there's so many people who take extreme ownership for anything that's going poorly, starting with the coaches. When something doesn't go well and we're not performing to the level I want, I look in the mirror and say, what can I do differently? And I know my coaches do that as well. The best part of this team, though, is we have a bunch of players who do the same thing. There's no finger pointing. There's a lot of thumb pointing, like, here's what I'm going to do different. Here's what I'm going to do better. So for the most part, I think on all 3 aspects of the game, there's room for improvement. And the good news is we've had a great week of practice, and I think we're making some of those adjustments and improvements.
Again, we're talking with Mike Elder, Avon Eagle head football coach. They're getting set to take on Glenville tonight here in week 3 on the WEOL.com and Chronicle Telegram YouTube game. What are your thoughts on this year's Tarblooder team? I know they return a lot of guys who were integral to their team a year ago, a team that you saw in beat 13-12 on what was a really rainy, wet, muggy Friday night. Hopefully the conditions prove otherwise here for tonight's matchup. But what are your thoughts on this year's Glenville team? Obviously a lot of dynamic athletes anytime you take on the Tarblooders.
Yeah, I mean, we've played them 4 times, and we're 3-1 against them. And Frankly, I think this might be the best Glenville team I've seen, defensively especially. You know, they can stop the run with 5 guys in the box, which then makes it difficult to throw. They're athletic everywhere, and they run to the ball, and they're a very physical bunch. So, you know, we know what we're up against defensively. You know, nothing's going to come easy. We're going to have to be comfortable with punting the ball, and we're going to have to make sure that, you know, our defense matches and plays well as they do to keep this, you know, a competitive game, which, you know, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. And offensively, they have a quarterback who I think can run it and throw it, and they're big and physical on the offensive line. And, you know, when they get moving, they're hard to stop. So, and then special teams-wise, there's guys you want to avoid kicking the ball to, and they do a great job of getting after and blocking kicks as well. So they present problems in all 3 facets, but it's a challenge that we're really excited about. And I told our kids, like, you get a weak 15, 16 caliber opponent in week 3. How awesome is that? And that's exactly what we're going to get, is a really great team.
Well, I'm certainly excited to watch this matchup tonight. Should be a really great matchup between 2 really great teams and 2 really great programs. So, Coach, we can close with this as we always do. If you could share a couple of keys to victory tonight, what are your Eagles going to need to do well? Sounds like field position will certainly be a big factor tonight, but what are going to be a couple of keys to victory for your Eagles here tonight at home in week 3?
Well, it starts with our defense. You know, we're going to have to lean on them to keep us in this game, especially early on, and some turnovers would be big to help us with a short field, because it's tough to drive the ball the length of the field against Cleveland Glenville. So our defense is going to have to kill the run and not give up, you know, the explosive plays that Glenville's so good at finding. And on the offensive side of the ball, it's going to be end everything with a kick, whether that's an extra point, a field goal, or a punt. End it with a kick, meaning don't turn the ball over and give these guys a short field or a cheap one where it's a pick 6, because you know, they'll feed off of that. And so for us, you know, offensively, it's about being patient and chipping away and understanding that, you know, we got to win a few of these 50-50 balls that we throw up there, because there's always going to be tight coverage, and make just enough plays to score some points and beat them.
The big players got to make plays. You hear coaches talk about that all the time. It sounds like that'll certainly be a part of the process for your Eagles here tonight. So, hey, Coach Elder, as always, we greatly appreciate the time here on the pregame show. Really do. We know how busy you guys get throughout the week. So thank you again, and best of luck to you and Avon here tonight at home against Glenville.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
And welcome back to Avon, home of the Eagles. Big thanks to Mike Elder, head coach of those Avon Eagles, for joining us here in the pregame show. Rocco Nucci, Tom Evans here with you. Jared Kozar, our on-site engineer. Gary Pelter in the house as well. Just below us, high atop his perch on the bleachers, manning the camera for us here this evening. Again, we are your WEOL.com and Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel game. Elsewhere on the WEOL streaming network tonight, over at Midview, it is Ron Yance, Mike Rush, and Dave Rydell taking in Middies and EC Panther action. And then our Medina County matchup on Stream 3 sees our usual 2 suspects, Michael Keefe, Chad Meyer. They're at Avon Lake. They made the climb atop those high arching bleachers over there in Shoreman country as they get set for Shoreman and Hornets of Highland coming in to Avon Lake tonight. That should be a really good one on our Stream 3 matchup tonight. But again, Tom, we're here for this WEOL.com and Chronicle Telegram YouTube matchup. Glenville getting set to take on Avon. Glenville won the toss, deferred to Avon, so Avon will receive on the south end, correct? It's my first trip to Avon doing a football game here, so I'm still learning the lay of the land, the whole geographical aspect of things here, Tom.
That's good. I'm glad we got that whole north-south thing figured out there, Rocco.
It's tough for me. It's tough for me.
Right to left on the radio dial. How's that?
There you go. It's that's the ace in the hole right there. So, again, looking at this matchup, Avon, they are 1-1 on the season. Again, took their first loss since the 2023, state Final Four, where they lost to Akron-Hoban. They had rattled off 17 straight wins after that, and that came to a close last week down in Florida, losing to Spruce Creek 25-22. And Avon opened the season up right here on WEOL.com with a 40-14 dominating win over the Wildcats of St. Ignatius, who, Ignatius, they just continue to struggle with things right now. And for Cleveland Glenville, the Tarblooders, they opened up the campaign with a very impressive Week 1 road win down in Massillon. Took on those TIGERS Massillon Tigers. Got a win in overtime, 33-27. Followed that up with a win last week against the defending Division I state champs, Olentangy Liberty. 13-7 was the final score there. So, Tom, again, going back to our kind of pregame social media video, you had mentioned it. Back-to-back opponents here for Glenville that were state champs a year ago. You don't really see that every year.
And they do it a couple different ways. They do it with offense against Massillon and a couple block kicks, and Coach Elder alluded to that. They blocked a field goal at the end of regulation and put him in overtime, and I believe they blocked a kick in overtime as well. And then they do it defensively against Olentangy Liberty. So they Coach hits the nail right on the head. They're going to have to be very, very patient with this Glenville team. This Glenville team is used to playing in big games. They won't get rattled. They won't get shook. They're going to be in there, and they're going to fight with them for 48 minutes tonight.
Well, and that's one thing that I always like and enjoy about Coach Mike Elder's messaging to his Eagles, Tom, is that, with their non-conference schedule, the SWC, of course, as well, but especially with the non-conference schedule, you look at their three opponents, St. Ignatius, Spruce Creek in Florida, and then Glenville tonight to round things out. Those are three really good quality football teams. Again, Ignatius has had their struggles, but all three programs have very high goals, high aspirations, high expectations, all of that good stuff. It's never going to be easy, and that can be tough for a high school kid, right? Especially in Avon, you're kind of, used to piling up those wins. I don't want to say things ever really come easy necessarily, but you kind of get those wider scoring margins with some of those other SWC teams. And, for those first 3 weeks, it's a battle. It's a fight. It's a war for, the full 4 quarters. And that can be tough for a kid to kind of handle mentally and physically.
And we hear Mike talk about constantly, year in, year out, never taking it for granted. Never taking it for granted. Never just expecting, that it comes through hard work. It comes through a lot of different ways. That they don't take the wins for granted. They want to embrace them. They want to get ready, but they certainly have really tough go here in the non-league games, and it's not going to get any easier tonight.
So Avon, again, they will receive the kick. They are in the purple tops with the white bottoms, gold/yellow helmets, whatever you want to call that. And Glenville, they come in with the road whites, black helmets, red numbering, lettering, and trim all the way around. So as we get set for kickoff here, two guys back deep to receive for Avon. That is Finn Jerdonic and Caden Bennett. The two men back deep to receive here for Avon. Bennett standing further back, actually, than the other guys up there. So they'll be set to return. And kicking off tonight for Glenville, it will be Ineri Lemon. Ineri Lemon, a sophomore kicker, 6'1". They got him on the roster, a $195. So certainly one of the bigger kickers I think we've seen in our games here on WEOL. But Lemon getting set to boot this one deep to Avon. Again, they will have the ball first on offense here tonight. Again, WEOL.com, live on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Big thanks to our sponsors, Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, EcoTree Services, as well as Stewart's TV and Appliance. So here we go. Waiting for the official's whistle. There it is. Lemon will take a slow walk toward that football, and before he even put the charge into it, we get a dead ball whistle. And what do we got? Got a couple of palms up to the sky. Lemon, jogging back over to the sideline. Not sure what's going on here.
Yeah, this side judge stopped it. Well, the
equipment issue maybe with Ineri Lemon, the kicker, because he's exiting right now on that far sideline.
Out comes Elijah Harden. 6'1", 198-pound, another sophomore.
That's not live. So it will be Harden set to boot this one deep. Put the charge into it, and we are underway here at Avon. This one is fielded by Jordanic, and he's going to make his way up the right side and get tackled right across that 35-yard line. Tell you what, Jared, I think we're having a camera issue. Why don't you buy us a quick 30-second break? We'll be right back. We'll try to get this solved.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio
It's not
voice
loud.
of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree Service. WEOL.
Us.
I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
All right, should be good now, hopefully. Sorry about that. A couple camera difficulties here. Man, one of these weeks we'll get things smooth. But now we got action. 2nd and 3 now for Avon at their own 42-yard line. Elder set to throw. He's got a man open. He's got a man loose across the 30. Foot race now across the 25. Tackled shy of the 20-yard line.
That's Grant Barr.
Grant Barr.
That's his favorite target out there. Nice little slant and go on that one. Just got inside of the coverage man for the Tarblooders, and then the safety had to come over to make the tackle to prevent that from being a touchdown.
So Grant Barr, a nice catch there, nice run, gets Avon now into Tarblooder territory as they are at about the 20-yard line now. They'll call it the 21 as Blake Elder has this offense moving early and often. Avon looking for a score here on their opening possession. Again, Rockanushi, Tom Evans here with you. Jared Kozar, Gary Pelter, all here at Avon. Again, got the camera working now. Following that opening kickoff, missed I think just one play. It was a 7-yard gain for Avon that we had missed, and again, that big catch and run there by Grant Barr is, I think we got some 50-50 sales going on on the camera in front of us. That's okay. Nothing you can do there, Pelt. That's A-okay, my friend. High school football at its finest right here.
Official just sent a Glenville player off. This is 2 weeks in a row where we've seen them send players off with what appears to be equipment issues.
Yeah, it was Lemon on the kickoff. Harden had to come in and kick. Here's Elder to throw. He's got Barr again. This time he's got it up this near sideline, shoved out of bounds at about the 10. So that'll be good for another Avon first down. That was Chris Newell Jr., the Buffalo commit, escorting him out of bounds. But again, not before another Eagle first down.
Last week was the infamous knee pads where the pants weren't covering the knees.
Yeah.
And they sent several players off to make that change during the game. And the rules still exist in high school football that it's got to cover the knee. They watch too much college and pro football where it doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's all about the aesthetics and the looks, I guess, anymore, rather than safety for
I don't
some
know
of
why
these
you wouldn't
young
want
men.
your knee covered.
Yeah. I've had knee surgery myself. Can't recommend not wearing the pads. Here's Elder in the shotgun awaiting the snap. It's Keontae Smith in the backfield with him. 3 wide receivers bunched to his right, 1 to his left, and it'll be an early timeout here from head coach Mike Elder, and he is not happy about it. Some sort of miscommunication somewhere before that play call. Play clock was winding down, so that'll be an early timeout here for the Avon Eagles. And in a game like tonight, I know it's kind of the cliche saying, but you use one this early, Tom, sometimes that can come back to bite you even in the first half.
Yeah, and Avon's trying to be real deliberate right now. They're using a good portion of that play clock. They're keeping Glenville in their stances over there defensively, making sure they get the right call against what they're seeing defensively.
So it is 1st and goal here for Avon. Ball spotted right at the 10. And if you're just joining us, this is Avon's first possession. Grant Barr had the big catch and run to get the Eagles into Tarblooder territory. Let's quickly go over that Avon offense. We'll look at the offensive line. They got a bunch of seniors up here, 3 of them to be exact. Max Hawk, the left tackle. Braden Patrick at left guard. Those are both seniors. Jack Fitch, their junior center. He wears number 52. And on the right side of the line at right guard, it's Caden Krugman, the junior, number 72. Ian Engelhardt, he's a senior at right tackle. Quarterback is Mike Elder's son, Blake Elder. We saw a little bit of him earlier on in his high school career, filling in for an injured Nolan Good. He's 27 of 48 this season with 1 touchdown, just shy of 400 yards. His receivers, Grant Barr, Sammy Ullery, Finn Jordanic, with Keontae Smith and Cam Wendell rotating in the backfield. So now Elder gets under center, and we'll get another stoppage here. One of the officials racing. Was this another equipment issue? Now that's number 7 for Glenville, Kalen Bailey, the 6'1" junior defensive end. He'll check out.
Well, that's the second time they sent Kalen off. They just sent him off to play before. I don't know what the issue is.
So
there.
Jameer Johnson, the senior at 6'2", he'll come in to replace him on the left side of that defensive front for Glenville. Man in motion here, that's Ullery. And instead, it'll go to Smith in the backfield. Smith looking for some wiggle room up the middle. Not a whole lot there, though. That's defended well by Glenville. About a 1.5, 2-yard gain there for Keontae Smith. And that's something Mike Elder talked about in the pregame show there, Tom, is Glenville can defend the run well, and they don't really have to load the box to do it. They can just put 5 or 6 guys in there, and that usually is enough to get the job done.
And that was one where they wanted the ball snapped a little bit quicker because Avon was in an unbalanced look that time. They were overloaded to the right, and I think that they wanted to snap the ball before Glenville figured that out, and they didn't get the opportunity.
So shotgun set again here for Blake Elder. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Another whistle, and what do we got here? More equipment being discussed with the officials. This time that's Carmelo Williams, the senior defensive lineman, and kind of an attempt to get the towel or whatever that is off the field. Now they got it off the field to play, so my goodness, and what might be the absolute coming to a halt of momentum here for Avon. We'll see if they can finish off this drive. 2nd and goal now from the 8. Man in motion here, that's Clapham. He goes back. Elder under some pressure. He's going to roll to the near side. Elder's got room to run, and he's going to run out of bounds at about the 7 as that sideline gap was closed in a hurry. Cortez Yancey, the senior linebacker. Boy, he cut off what would have been an easy running lane into the end zone for Blake Elder on that one.
Yeah, I think Blake thought he had a little bit more green than what, and Cortez, once he saw him coming, he took a great angle on him, forced him out at about the 6-yard line.
So now 3rd and goal, ball spotted at the 7 of the Tarblooders for this Eagle offense. Blake Elder and friends looking to finish off a opening drive with some points here. Elder looking under some pressure, makes a man miss. Nice move. Now he's got a man open in the end zone. Touchdown, Avon! That is Dylan Luker, the tight end. Luker leaking behind that Glenville defense, all alone here on the near side of that end zone, Tom. Elder did well to get out of some pressure, found him wide open on the left side, and that's an easy 6 points for the Avon Eagles. They strike first tonight. It is 6-0 Avon after that 7-yard touchdown pass from Elder to Luker.
And that's the old scramble play. Blake Elder kept that play alive with his legs. Luker kind of went to the open spot he saw here in the corner of the end zone. Blake ran around enough to just see him sitting there all by himself. Nice, easy throw and catch.
So this will be Jensen Petro, the senior, on for the extra point. That kick is up, and it was good, but
flag down.
Offsides will be called against Glenville, and I think did they whistle that dead before the kick technically went through? It's maybe what it seems like, because Mike Elder, head coach for Avon, was signaling to decline the penalty, but I don't think he can because they blew it dead.
I can say the way Glenville blocks kicks, Mike wants his 1 point and let's go.
Well, and that's what he's trying to explain to the officials right now. It's like, hey, wait a minute, an offside is not a dead ball call. That kick, if it was good, should stand, and I gotta stand with him on that. Problem is, if the officials blew the whistle and that's a dead ball, there's really no way to undo that. Well, unless that's exactly what's about to happen. They'll call offsides. Okay. They'll grant the declining of the penalty, and that extra point from Jensen Petro will be good. So our score with, well, now wait a minute. No, they're going to come back out and re-kick, I think.
He definitely blew it up as the kick was before the snap came.
Yeah, okay. So they'll have to re-kick here. Petro on for the extra point once again. Snap is back, hold is good, kick is up, and now the kick is officially good. So with 9:31 left to play in this first quarter here at Avon, it is the Eagles 7, Glenville 0. We'll be right back here on the all-new WEOL.com. We're streaming live as well over on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
After the 7-yard touchdown pass from Blake Elder to Dylan Luker, it is a 7-0 Avon Eagle lead over Glenville. And Rakanushi Tom Evans here with you on site. Jared Kozar, our engineer. Gary Pelter right below us, doing his best to navigate a standing crowd at times right in front of him. So way to hang in there, Pelt. We appreciate it.
Nothing but rave reviews in the first couple of weeks with Pelt's camera work.
That's what I've been hearing. I know
I'm hearing he's developing his own little fan club here in Lorain County.
Yeah, word gets around the streets of Lorain County pretty quick, and all hailing the praises of the one and only Gary Pelter. So it'll be Petro after that extra point now, set to boot this one deep. A trifecta of Tarblooders back deep to receive for Glenville. And Petro squibs this one as it rolls across the 20. It'll be fielded by Glenville at about their own 15-yard line, as this is Crittenden on the return. He's making some guys miss, makes another man miss. Now the rest of the Eagles finally gang up and tackle him just across that 20-yard line. So a nice return there, a nice effort on that return by DeAnthony Crittenden. He's drawn some Division I interest from the likes of the University of Pittsburgh, the University of Akron as well, but no official offer or commitment, I should say, for Crittenden just yet. Glenville does have a couple of Division I commits on this offense, 4 to be exact. We'll take a look at him here. Paulie Sadler at receiver. He's committed to go to Bowling Green. Sincere Johnson in the backfield, their senior running back. He's ready to go to Ohio State. And up front, number 73, senior offensive lineman Jameer Perez, 6'4", over 320 pounds. He's set to be a Buckeye as well. Chris Newell Jr., he'll get some touches in that backfield. He's set to go to Buffalo. Here's quarterback Arvell Nelson on a quick halfback swing. He's got a man open and working his way up across the 30-yard line. I believe that was Romel Phillips, number 26, the senior tailback. A nice catch there and an easy swing route for Phillips. Gets him a gain of about 10 and a first down for Glenville.
Not surprised at all that Avon did not kick the ball deep to the Tarblooders. In week 1, we saw Avon really struggle with kick coverage. I know that coaches made some changes personnel-wise, but don't want to give them the opportunity to run a kickback on you.
Quarterback Arvell Nelson, 6'3", 170 pounds. They got him listed at here on this Glenville roster, so good size for the Tarblooder quarterback. Instead, though, he'll turn and give to Romel Phillips, and he's getting some touches here early. He's got a nice pickup out across the 40 for Glenville, so a gain of about 7 or 8 there for Phillips. Sets up second and short now for Glenville.
A real nice push by that Glenville offensive line to start the game here, these first 2 plays. Really coming off the ball nicely and moving those Avon defenders back.
Yeah, they got some good size up there. Deontay Rembrandt, he's just a sophomore, but he starts at center for Glenville. Got a couple of seniors on the left side of that line. We talked about Perez already. Marquise Whipple there as well. On the right side of the line, you got Eason Hankins, number 78. He's a junior at 6'4", with big Carmelo Williams at right tackle. And Phillips was set to touch this one again on the carry, but a whistle before that play gets rolling. And what do we got here? Illegal procedure will go against Glenville. So back to Tarblooders up 5 yards. Turns a 2nd and 3 into 2nd and 8. Ball will be moved back to, well, just past the 35, not quite the 36. So getting 2nd and medium now here for the Glenville offense. And they use a lot of different guys on offense. London Hearn, we'll see his name called quite often here tonight. Joseph Saffeld, he'll get his hands on the football a lot as well. We've talked about Romel Phillips, Davon McDougall, another running back that'll certainly rotate into that offensive backfield for Glenville as well. It's Phillips, though, back there with Arvell Nelson in the shotgun, 3 wide receiver look. Nelson under pressure here from a couple of Eagles. He steps up, he avoids the pressure. Now he's got room to run, and he's going to take an awkward slide down right at about the 45. So the officials have 2 different spots. We'll see where they give him, but nonetheless, it is a first down for Glenville. Nice job by Nelson to escape pressure. He had a whole pack of Eagles chasing after him.
Yeah, he had 2 or 3 closing in on him. He did a nice job of stepping up and making something out of nothing on that one.
Arvell Nelson, we saw him a year ago in this game. I believe he was injured at one point. They had to go to their backup, LaMarquise Greenwood, who took over. Was unable to get the win for Glenville that night. Nelson, he'll turn, he'll give to Phillips, and a flag here as Phillips broke into that secondary. Would have had a lot of room to run, but that's all wasted energy for Romel Phillips. He'll have to march his way back, as will the Glenville offense. That'll probably be a false start against the Tarblooders, so their 2nd penalty here on their first offensive drive. Back them up 5 yards once again. Let's look at that Avon defense here quickly. Up front, they run a 3-4. Nolan Robke at defensive tackle, Max Hawk at nose tackle, Lance Dawson, the big senior defensive end. He had a nice Thursday night last week down against Spruce Creek In the linebacking crew, you got Ben Strichik, Ryan Stolarski, Jacob Odie, and Jackson Brokaw. In the secondary, Caden Clapham, Jacob Witherspoon, Trevor Malley, Alex Rivera. Nelson set to throw here. He's got a man open on that far sideline. Ball's out, ball's loose. Who's got it? I think Glenville was able to pounce back on it, so near disaster there for the Tarblooders as their receiver coughed it up there, but fortunately for Glenville, able to get it back, and they'll end up picking a few yards up in the process.
We'll see a lot of different bodies play on that Avon defense. We talked about it. We were doing all of our different sport analogies in week 1 against St. Ignatius, but it looks like hockey line shift changes when they start bringing new defensive linemen in and linebackers, and he'll play 22, 23 people on that defensive side of the football for the Eagles.
That's the luxury you have when you build a program up like Mike Elder has done. You can really go too deep. I know we asked the coaches for their too deep, just about every week with the games that we cover here on the WEOL streaming network, but rarely do we see those hockey line changes. And what now? Another discussion here amongst the officials right at midfield. I'm not sure what happened there. Did a flag get thrown on that play? Not sure. More discussions happening here. Maybe just figuring out where to spot that football based on where it was fumbled and where it was recovered. So 2nd and 7 now for Glenville. Ball at their own 49-yard line against 7-0 Avon, our score. After the Eagles scored on that first drive, Blake Elder finding Dylan Luker for a 7-yard touchdown. The turn and give to Romel Phillips. He makes a man miss, breaks a tackle. He's into Eagle territory, bringing guys with him down at the 40-yard line. So a pickup of 11 there for Romel Phillips. And Avon's defense having some trouble here with Phillips here in the early going.
That's a big hole that time, too. And we see that shift change going right now. 3 fresh defensive linemen come in, a fresh linebacker comes in. Big hole for Phillips. He didn't get touched till he was about 8 or 10 yards downfield on that one. Again, that Glenville offensive line really coming off the ball nicely.
Well, and with the athleticism that they tout at their skill positions, Tom, trying to mitigate the run with, as few bodies in the box as possible, I think will be very important for Avon as the night goes on. Nelson has some trouble with that shotgun snap. He corrals it, tries to take it himself, and he gets met hard in the hole and gets thrown down by a couple of Eagles there. In on the stop, Ryan Stolarski, the senior captain, one of the first to greet him. Nice hit by that young man. A couple of other purple jerseys in on the stop as well.
A nice job by Nelson on that one. He did what he's taught to do. He missed the handoff, so he just because it bobbled a little bit, he just tucked the ball, tried to follow the running back up into the hole. Stolarski was there waiting for him.
Well, we go back to Phipps, right? Fumbles, interceptions, penalties. What's the S in Phipps there, Tom?
Plural.
That'll work. Well, he limited the fumbles on that, although they are having some trouble with penalties here on this first drive. Nelson looking to scramble away. He can't get out of it. Nelson is sacked by who else? Ryan Stolarski. Again, the senior captain at linebacker, bringing down Nelson in the backfield. A nice stop there by Stolarski. Sets up 3rd and long now. A chance for Avon to put Glenville in a early 4th down situation. Ball spotted just shy of that Avon 40-yard line, so one of those awkward territories here for Glenville on this 3rd down play. 3rd and 11, they'll call it. Ball at the 41.
We saw that shift change again. 5 fresh bodies out on the field for the Eagles.
And look at them crowding that offensive line. A host of Eagles. They drop out of it. They send 4. They block it well, does Glenville. Nelson stepping up. He's got a man open. It's cut out across the 20-yard line. Looking for the 15. Still bringing guys with him, and finally wrestled down at the 15. That's the senior wide receiver, Joseph Saffold. Boy, just found a soft spot in that Avon defense. Sat down, and Nelson did a good job to find him. That's a big 3rd down pickup here early for Glenville.
And Mike Elder's pleading his case. He says Nelson was across the line of scrimmage before he threw the football. Nelson does a nice job of coming forward, keeping his eyes downfield. But Mike really we see him on the 37-yard line, hands on hips. He said Nelson was a good 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. He's checking with the umpire, who's really not looking at that either. So that's got to be a side judge, and they're saying no. And 1st and 10 for the Tarblooders at the 15-yard line.
Boy, and Mike Elder is irate right now on that sideline, so he certainly believes that was a missed call. Hard to tell from our angle if he was really past it or not. I know it was close, I can tell you that much, but a big conversion there for Glenville, maybe a break as well for the Tarblooders. Nelson takes the shotgun snap. He'll turn. He'll give to Romel Phillips. He got met in the hole, tried to reverse fields, and nothing doing there for Romel Phillips. Again, a host of Eagles in on the stop. One of the first to greet him, that was number 58, Vinny DiTilio, the senior linebacker, doing a nice job there against the Tarblooder backfield. So 2nd and 11 now for Glenville. Ball at the Avon 16-yard line. Under 4.5 minutes left to play here in this first quarter. Against 7-0 Avon, our score. The Eagles striking on their opening offensive possession. Blake Elder in a bit of a scramble drill, found Dylan Luker, his big tight end, open in the corner of the end zone for 6. Petro's extra point was good. So 7-0 Avon is where we stand. Nelson takes the shotgun snap. He'll fake the jet sweep. Now he's got room to run out across the 10. He gets leveled just before the 5. They'll maybe give him the 6, but that's a big pickup there for Arvell Nelson. Kind of an RPO or the option read there, I guess you could call it. Faking that jet sweep, kept it himself on the counter, and he is near that line to gain. I think they'll mark him just shy, though, so 3rd and about a yard now here for Glenville.
Cade Clapton comes in from his corner spot to keep it from being a touchdown.
So what will Glenville do here on this 3rd and 1? They're certainly looking for 6, I think, at this point on this drive. It's been a nice march down the field for the Tarblooders, despite a couple of penalties for Ted Ginn Senior's ball club. Nelson in the pistol set here. He'll turn. He'll give the Romel Phillips. Phillips looking for the first down. I don't think he got there. Phillips wrestled down shy of the 5. Hard to tell exactly where that line to gain is. I think it is the 5 that he needs. And so what do we got here? A face mask. A flag gets thrown. Hard to see that laundry out there. Flag gets thrown. It is a face mask against the Eagle defense. So a costly penalty there against Avon will give Glenville now 1st and goal from inside the 5. So a tough break there for the Eagle defense.
My brother Mark, watching at home, said Mr. Elder was right. He said he was definitely over the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. So.
All right. That's the beauty of our cameraman extraordinaire down here, Gary Pelter.
Pelt with some good camera work
there.
no
kidding. Arvell Nelson under center for the first time. He'll pitch it to Phillips. Phillips looking to turn that corner on the outside, and he gets met at the goal line, and that'll be a touchdown. Wow, I think Phillips thought he maybe had a little more room than he did.
Yeah, he took his foot off the accelerator there a little bit and came over and got cracked by one of the Avon guys. I think, he thought he was going to just kind of walk in there. He took a pretty good shot as he hit the goal line.
No kidding. It's an extra banana or protein shake or whatever tomorrow morning, feeling the effects of that one. But Romel Phillips, a 3-yard touchdown run, good blocking on the left side of that Glenville offensive front. And now the Tarblooders an extra point away from tying this football game. With 3:10 left to go here in this first quarter. So now Glenville, some issues getting their extra point team, I think, onto the field. They got some time, though, with 30 seconds still on that play clock. It'll be Gary Pritchett to hold, and I believe that is Anir Lemon, the kicker, back on. And that one is blocked right at the line. That one will trickle shy of the goalpost, so the extra point attempt no good there for Glenville, so Avon will retain the lead. Our score, with 3:10 left to go here in the first quarter, it is Avon hold on a minute.
Personal foul on Avon. I think they're going to call him for trying to jump the line of scrimmage there. I saw a flag come flying in from the back, and I don't know if one of the linebackers or defensive backs try to jump over the line or not, but they called a personal foul on the play.
So, 2 personal fouls now against Avon on this Glenville possession. One to set up that 1st and goal leading to the Romel Phillips touchdown run, and then another here on the missed extra point. So it'll be Glenville with another crack at trying to tie this football game, or are they just going to say forget it and go for 2? I think that's what they're going to try to do. Ball spotted inside the 1. So here comes the offense. Arvell Nelson back out there. Phillips in the backfield with him. 3 wide receiver look. 2 to Nelson's left, 1 to his right. Split out far wide. Nelson, he'll turn. He'll give to Phillips. Phillips gets met shy, and he is brought down short of the goal line. A good stand there by the Avon defense, and they come out of that pile fired up. One of their senior captains in on the stop, Jerry Clements. 5'10", 182-pound senior safety came into the hole to help stop Phillips. And so Avon, despite the personal foul, despite 2 of them, retain the lead. So now our score with 3:10 left to go here in the first quarter. It is Avon 7, Glenville 6. We'll be right back with more of the WEOL Gridiron Clash, streaming live on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, Contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
Finn Jordanic, Caden Bennett back deep to receive here for Avon. And who is that, 26 on the far side? Jarrell Fenton. Jarrell Fenton back there as well, awaiting this Anir Lemon kickoff. Our score with 3:10 left to go here in this first quarter. It's Avon 7, Glenville 6. After Glenville went for 2 and didn't get it. On the return here for Avon, and being brought down just shy of the 25-yard line was Bennett. So that is where the Eagles will start this second possession. So easy work on that first drive for the Avon offense, Tom. They marched right down the field. Grant Barr had the big catch and run to set them up in Tarblooder territory. Blake Elder capping off that drive with a 7-yard touchdown pitch and catch to his senior tight end, Dylan Luker.
Well, each team with 1 possession in the first half and 3:07 to go here, both with nice drives, nice combination, mixing up with the pass and run, and an early score in the Battle of the Norths. North Ridgeville 7, North Royalton 0 early on in the first quarter.
Said Ridgeville up 7-0 over Royalton. Okay, certainly expect the Rangers to win that one, I think, tonight. So here's Blake Elder in the shotgun. He's looking for a man on the swing. It's a double pass, and he's got a man open. It's Grant Barr, who gets upended across the 50, but a beautiful play design there. Some trickery here from Mike Elder in the offense here in this first quarter. How about that? I believe that was Jordanic who caught the swing and then threw it deep down the field to Grant Barr. So a nice play design there for Avon, has the Eagles right back in Tarblooder territory.
Threw that a little bit too far inside for Grant's liking. Jordan Johnson put a good shot on him in that Glenville secondary.
Yeah, Barr going to be feeling that in the legs for sure. And what do we got here? A timeout for Glenville.
Yeah, Glenville's trying to make some changes with the lineup, and they didn't get in what they wanted, and their coach not real happy that guys aren't paying attention and making the right changes.
You know, and we'll keep it right here. Tarblooders looking a little, I don't want to say out of sorts, because they're only down 1, and they looked okay on that first offensive drive, but couple of penalties, a couple of, equipment malfunctions, just a couple of little things, and even right there, having to burn a timeout. Not as sharp as I thought Glenville might be here in the early going.
That time, a little tempo getting to them, because I'm sure that they played, they played Massillon early on. Massillon's in a spread, and they use a lot of tempo with that offense. So, coach pretty upset the guys weren't getting on and off the field the way that they wanted them to.
So, 2:50 still left to play here in this first quarter. And Avon leading Glenville here 7-6. Avon coming off their first loss since 2023, losing to Spruce Creek, Florida last Thursday night, 25-22. I believe it was Petro that had a chance to send that game to overtime for Avon. Missed about a 50-yarder as time expired. So Avon 1-1 coming into this contest. Glenville, they're 2-0 with big-time wins, both on the road, first against Massillon, Washington, and then again last week against Olentangy Liberty, the defending Division I champs. So now taking on the defending Division II champs. So a tough non-conference schedule as always for Glenville. Blake Elder in the shotgun. He'll drop back to pass. Elder looking, still looking, nothing really downfield. Now finds a man at that first down marker. That's who else? Grant Barr, who caught it right at that 39-yard line. That was the line he needed for the first down, and let's see if they give it to him. Yes, they do. So a nice pitch and catch there from Elder to his favorite target, as you said, Tom, Grant Barr, senior captain at receiver. Their leading receiver came in tonight with 10 catches, 130 yards, and he's adding to that total here early.
Great job by Blake Elder keeping that play alive with his feet, too, really. But when he comes to the line of scrimmage like that, he forces Glenville to come off their coverage, really, and Barr stays with his route. Real nice throw and catch there.
Avon going with some tempo here, not huddling, and a whistle blows the play dead here, and that'll be a false start against the Avon Eagles. So the tempo maybe comes back to bite them a little bit there, not trying to give Glenville the opportunity to make some changes, but they'll have to back themselves up 5 yards as we get a substitution now here for Avon. That is number 11, Caden Bennett, trotting onto the field. Sammy Ullery will get a quick breather. And now 1st and 15 for Avon. Ball spotted at the Glenville 44-yard line. And another whistle here. Who's this one now going against? Maybe Glenville? Yeah,
offsides. I'm looking right down the line of scrimmage. Certainly he moved, but I thought that lineman was back far enough that he didn't get into the neutral zone.
So the officials, I guess we use
trading
this for
fives.
Well, yeah, and we use this for basketball more often than any other sport, but a tight one. Calling it tight, I think, here in the early going, Tom.
Without question.
So somebody will have to adjust, right? If not both sides here tonight. As Elder awaits the shotgun snap, now he gets it. Elder looking down the near sideline. He's going deep. He's got a man. It's Grant Barr. Barr and made the catch. Grant Barr made the catch. We do have a flag as there was a lot of contact there between Barr and the defensive back, Jordan Johnson. And so I believe that should go against Glenville, but Mike Elder will gladly decline that penalty as Grant Barr ends up making that catch.
And that's when you see so often in high school where the ball is slightly underthrown, the receiver keeps tracking it, he slows down, the defensive back just runs into him, Barr stays with it and makes the catch. Both the back judge and the side judge had interference on that one, but they'll take the catch on that one.
That's one of those tough plays if you're the defensive back, though, I think, because like you said, it's underthrown. You're sprinting to keep up with Grant Barr, who has just been on fire here in this opening quarter. And, yeah, just because the ball was underthrown, it just kind of lends itself to that DPI because, like you said, Tom, you got the receiver coming back to it. He's tracking it, and Jordan Johnson could do nothing but run into Barr, and Barr made a tremendous catch. Now a little wildcat look here. It's Keontae Smith awaiting the snap. Smith's going to keep it himself, turning the corner, looking for the end zone, and he's wrestled down just shy of the goal line. A touchdown-saving tackle by Jordan Johnson, who just committed that pass interference. So Jordan Johnson, again, a point-saving touchdown there, bringing down Keontae Smith. Another nice play call here from the Eagle offense. They're getting deep into their bag of tricks here in this first quarter, Tom.
Mike's not leaving anything on the shelf tonight.
No, not at all. So second and goal now for Avon.
Cam Wendell, and Cam's been their kind of hammer back. Cam's that guy, the short yards that knows how to find the end zone. He's in for the first time tonight. And Glenville takes the timeout.
Yes, they do, and we'll keep it right here. Cam Wendell had 3 touchdowns in that loss against Spruce Creek, and it's really the combination, or the duo, rather, of Cam Wendell and Keontae Smith that will do the majority of the ball carrying this season for Avon. The numbers on both of them coming into tonight. Keontae Smith, he had carried it 22 times for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, just over 3.5 yards per carry for Keontae. He's a senior. And then Cam Wendell, another senior, 25 total carries for him, 137 yards, just over 5.5 a pop for him. 5 touchdowns. Again, 3 of those coming in last week's loss against Spruce Creek. He scored twice in that opener against St. Ignatius. So, second and goal, ball spotted inside the 2. I don't think you get too creative here if you're that Avon offense, right, Tommy? You just follow the big guys up front.
Well, I think with second down, I think they're going to let Cam Wendell just kind of hammer it, though. With the timeout, we'll see if he makes some adjustment to that.
So that Glenville defensive interior being tested here early, although a bulk of Avon's big plays have come through the air, and we've seen some trickery as well. So Avon offensively, they're not really trying to take it right into the teeth of that Glenville defense. They're certainly trying to spread the Tarblooders out a little bit, and that's worked fairly well here for them through this first quarter, as we are, just under a minute left to play here in this first quarter, 59 seconds to be exact on that first quarter clock. Again, 7-6 our score with Avon up a point after Glenville was denied a 2-point conversion attempt following a Romel Phillips 3-yard touchdown run on their opening offensive drive. So here comes Blake Elder in the shotgun after the timeout. Wendell in the backfield on his right. He'll turn. He'll give to Cam Wendell, and he will just strut his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Avon. That one too easy for the Eagle offense. Good blocking up front. Cam Wendell had nothing to do but find that purple turf opening, and he did just that for another 6 points for the Eagles.
Nice job by Big Max Hawk at left tackle, Braden Patrick at left guard, and Jack Fitch really did a nice job of pushing Glenville off the ball on that one.
So a 1-yard touchdown run, we'll call it 2-yard touchdown run there for Cam Wendell. Makes this a 13-6 game as Petro is on for the extra point here for Avon. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is blocked. As for the Tarblooders coming screaming through, who is that? That is big guy out there. That's number 23 for Glenville, DeAndre Taylor. 6'2", 245-pound senior came screaming through that front of Avon and got his big paws on that kick and blocked it. So our score with 57 seconds left to play here in the first, Avon 13, Glenville 6. We'll be right back live on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. And Tommy, we're online
at WEOL.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Back here at Avon, 13-6 our score with less than a minute to play, 57 seconds to be exact here in this first quarter, as Cam Wendell punctuating that second Avon offensive scoring drive here tonight with that 2-yard touchdown plunge. Extra point was blocked as Jensen Petro's kick again blocked by, that was DeAndre Taylor for Glenville getting his big paws on it, so that keeps it a 7-point game. Petro back out there now for the kickoff, and he will squib this one angling near sideline, and this one is fielded by Glenville at about their own 10-yard line. That's London Hearn on the return. London Hearn makes a man miss, still bringing some Eagles with him. He's out across the 30. Ball's loose. Flag is thrown. Avon says they have the football, but there is some laundry out there, so let's see. Let's see what all comes of this dog pile out there. We've got hands pointing this way, that way. Avon comes away with the football.
Nobody in a black hat yet, though.
That's Joe Saunders who came screaming out of there with it, and now another flag gets thrown here by the guys in black and white stripes. And so the celebration continuing here for Avon, so maybe they're hearing something from the officials that they like. Not sure.
They did point. It's Avon's possession, but I think we're going to get a call for a late hit on that by an Avon defender that came in.
So, yeah, there is a point from one of the officials signaling that Avon did recover it, but again, I think we had 2 flags thrown. We had one thrown while there was a mad dash for the loose football, and then one thrown just after that. So let's see. Well, they're going to pick one up, as the official indicates. Now there's an unsportsmanlike conduct. That one goes against Glenville. Wait, no, it goes against Avon. Pointed the wrong way.
Yeah, I think it was for the celebration after they recovered the ball down on the sideline there, and that's when the umpire threw the flag.
Well, through the first 2 weeks, I want to say it was week 1 at Elyria, I think I've seen more sideline infractions or warnings or whatever you want to call it than I had ever seen in my life. Must be a point of emphasis or something from the OHSAA this season with their officiating crews, because
it must be all new crews, too, because they spend a whole lot of time talking to each other during the game. My suggestion is get a cup of coffee afterwards, sort it all out then, but let's call the football game and let's keep it moving.
You know, I'll pull my punches sometimes. Not Tom Evans on the broadcast, though. That much is for sure. He will tell you how it is. And, well, Tom, I'm not really in any kind of position to disagree with you on that one. I'd love to see some flow and rhythm and momentum continue with this football game. But when things like this happen, it kind of brings things to a screeching halt. So,
and it's not just tonight. I mean, we've seen this for 3 straight weeks now, where it just really, no flow to the football games. A whole lot of, and I know they want to get it right, but we saw last week when illegal procedure was a 5-minute discussion. It was a 5-yard penalty. So either make the call or don't make the call. Let's get the game going.
You guys were at Lorraine last week, right? For Elyria Lorraine. So,
with the first half ended at midnight last week?
Yeah, you
guys.
What
it felt like.
You guys were still there, I think, by the time I had gotten home from
there were games that were over before we were out of halftime.
Wow.
We were getting final scores.
Yeah, that's not something you ever want necessarily. So it is Avon football after all of the nonsense, and they got it at the Glenville 45-yard line. Blake Elder, empty set shotgun look here, takes the snap, all the time in the world to throw, and kind of throws this one away, and a big hit there, and that's going to draw a penalty. As looking for the catch was Daniel Rice, the junior wide receiver, and he got lambasted by Sincere Johnson, the senior Ohio State commit and linebacker for Glenville, and that certainly drew the attention of just about everybody here on the home sideline as well as the officials.
And Glenville had read the screen real well, and Blake was doing the right thing. He was just kind of throwing it away in the vicinity over there, and boy, Sincere just came up and cracked the receiver who had kind of stopped playing at that point in time.
Yeah, that's one of those tough plays if you're Sincere Johnson, because you're already screaming, full speed at the intended receiver. You can't necessarily anticipate him, dropping it or giving up on it because Elder just sort of threw it away in his vicinity, but it was after the play. The receiver had given himself up, and that's a free 15 yards for the Eagle offense. They're at the Glenville 30. Pistol set here now for Blake Elder. Man in motion across the line of scrimmage. That's Finn Jerdonic, the senior. He'll turn and give to Keontae Smith. Elder, he will get himself out across the 30, right into the teeth of that Glenville defense. He'll pick up a couple, get his way to the 28-yard line, so a gain of 2 there for the senior tailback.
Score from Strobel Field and Sandusky. Lorraine 7. Sandusky 7 in the second quarter.
All right, definitely had my eyes on that one. Sandusky took one on the chin against Amherst in their season opener. And Lorraine did the same against Maple Heights, followed that up with a big win over Elyria last week. So curious to see what the Titans can do against the Blue Streaks as the night goes on. Thank you, Tommy, for that scoreboard update. Blake Elder takes the shotgun snap. He'll turn. He'll give it to Keontae Smith. Smith makes a cut right back up the gut, and he will work his way out to about the 20-yard line, maybe just shy of that 20. That is the line to gain. They'll give him about the 20.5, so it'll be third and very short here for Avon, and that is how this first quarter will come to a close. So a lot of action here in that first quarter. Hoping that continues as the night goes on. Our score after one, it's Avon 13, Glenville 6. We'll be right back with more high school football here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. And Tom, we're online anytime.
At WEOL.com.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
Back at Avon, second quarter action getting set to get underway. Rockanushi, Tom Evans here with you. Jared Kozar, our on-site engineer. Gary Pelter in the house as well. Got over 440 of you guys watching on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel and also online over at WEOL.com. So we certainly appreciate you guys tuning in and taking this one in with us. 3rd and 1 here for Avon. Ball spotted at the Glenville 21-yard line. Blake Elder in the shotgun. He'll turn. He'll give to Keontae Smith. Smith turns the corner. He's got room up the far sideline, and he gets shoved out of bounds near the 10. But a late flag comes in from one of the backside officials, and that's in the area of holding, and that's exactly what that will be. So wipe away the first down run for Keontae Smith. And now Avon will have to try to pick up 3rd down yet again. This time, though, 3rd and long should be 3rd and 11 after the holding call.
And that's a frustrating one because that play was away there. It was Keontae was well downfield, and they made the call.
Yeah, one of the many things that a lot of us will be yelling on our Sunday afternoons here starting this Sunday, Tom, is you didn't need to hold there. Yeah. You didn't need to hold. And I think
more importantly, it was away from the play. You didn't need to call it.
Right. Well, that's certainly a fair point as well. So, again, wipe away the first down. 3rd and 11 now for Avon. Ball at the Glenville 31-yard line. 4 wide receiver look here. Now a man in motion. That's Grant Barr, and that play is blown dead before it's even snapped. And what do we got here? Another penalty against the Avon Eagles, so back them up 5. So they've went from what was 3rd and less than a yard now to what will be 3rd and 16 at the Glenville 36. And I guess even more crucially here, Tom, you've kind of backed yourself out of field goal range.
Well, they were in 4-down territory at 3rd and 1, so even if he doesn't make it on 3rd down, Mike's going for it on 4th down. Mm-hmm. They've had some kicking problems. We saw extra points blocked against St. Ignatius, but right now he's got to get about half it back if he's going to go for it on 4th down.
Another 4 wide receiver here, 4 wide receiver look here. Trips to Blake Elder's right, man in motion. That's Jordanic. And he'll go right back to where he came from as Blake Elder looks over to the sideline. Little audible here at the line of scrimmage, and what now? Another timeout here for Avon. Mike Elder will burn his 2nd of this first half.
They had the play, trying to make a change with about 8 seconds to go. Not enough time to get him reset there.
Yeah, so both sides, I think, struggling with getting the right personnel onto the field, getting the right play calls in, and that's kind of been the theme here, Tom, through these first couple of weeks of the season. We saw it at our respective games in week 1. You were here at Avon. I was over at Elyria for Pioneers and Mayfield. But, yeah, execution has been something lacking at certain junctures on Friday night.
Sometimes you got to go with the play. When you're looking at inside of 10 seconds, you can't get a play change on the high school level, get it called, get people set, and get the ball snapped in under 10 seconds. It just isn't going to happen. So, you know, got to figure those things out.
So Mike Elder told me in the pregame interview that his team would have to be comfortable punting the ball. I think they're well past that at this point in this drive. We'll see how comfortable they are with punting it away, you know, on future drives as the night goes on. But Really, you got 2 plays here, I think, to try to pick up this first down. You don't need all 16 yards back here on third down. If you can make this a 4th and manageable, I think you'll take that. Or maybe you try to get yourself back into field goal range, if nothing else, despite the aforementioned kicking issues, Tom.
Yeah.
So,
and I really think Mike's thinking 4 downs if he gets any of it back at all right here.
4 wide receiver look, 2 to Elder's sides. Keontae Smith on his left. He'll take the shotgun snap. He'll drop back, looking across the middle, and that one nearly intercepted, as that was Aaron Scales, the senior defensive back, stepping in the way of Grant Barr, the intended receiver. So, right idea there for Avon, trying to pick up a big chunk of those 16 yards needed for a first down, but now it's 4th and 16 for Avon at the Glenville 36, and now you do need a big play to try to pick this first up.
And I wouldn't be shocked if Blake Elder pooched one down to maybe inside the 10-yard line, a little pooch kick here, although.
Have we seen him do that? Did he do that in the opener against Ignatius at any point?
No, I've seen him do it in previous years, and I've seen teams do it against him, so.
So we'll see what he does here. Another 4 wide receiver look. 2 to either side. Now a man in motion. That's Jordanic. Comes to the right side. Trips look now. Elder dropping back to pass. He's looking deep down the field, and that one's over his intended receiver's head as he was looking for Grant Barr yet again. Good coverage there by the Tarblooders secondary, as I believe that was Jaquan Gibson, the sophomore, back in coverage. So that's asking a lot of your sophomore corner there.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, left him on an island against the senior Grant Barr, but he passed the test. Elder overshot his man, so Glenville will take over with decent starting field position here. Ball should be right at their own 36. So the Avon defense will trot back out there. Glenville getting set to go back to work offensively. Again, it is 13-6 if you're just joining us. 11:45 left to play here in this first half.
Shout out to my good friend Rob Zurch. Said they just got home from Michigan, turned it on, listened to the game. His wife Mary teaches here in Avon.
How about that? Tune in from anywhere here on WEOL.com and on the CT YouTube channel. That play blown up immediately there by the Avon defense. That's a nice stand there by the Eagle defense, as that was Vinny DiTilio, the senior linebacker. I got to imagine that's Sam's younger brother, right? Vinny DiTilio. Mm-hmm. Sam, of course, a tremendous quarterback here at Avon a couple of years ago. Never got to see him play in person, unfortunately, but definitely saw plenty of highlights with Sam's play. And it is my first trip here to Avon for a football game. Done some basketball here. I've done baseball over at Crusher Stadium as well, but I've never taken in a game of Mike Elder's guys, and finally enjoying that here tonight. Arvell Nelson awaiting the shotgun snap. He'll turn, he'll give to his guy, and he'll muscle his way out across the 40-yard line, as that's Devon McDougall. McDougall's first carry of the ball game. Nice gain there for him, about 5. Sets up 3rd and 5 now for Glenville at their own 41-yard line.
Avon giving them a lot of different looks defensively. That time they bring a linebacker and a safety up right before the snap of the ball to try and shoot some gaps, try to get that back going before he gets going, or get him before he gets started back there.
So Nelson in the shotgun again, 3 wide receiver look, 1 tailback gets McDougall. They'll turn, they'll give to him, and he gets met immediately in the backfield. That's a great play by the Avon defense. A host of purple jerseys in on the stop. One of the first there, senior captain Jerry Clements, the senior safety at 5'10", $182. He stuck his nose in there, brought down McDougall. Now it's 4th down for Glenville. So in their own territory, I imagine they'll look to probably punt this one away, and that's exactly what they'll do. Well, Glenville, as Anir Lemon, we've seen him do the kicking off for Glenville, and he'll punt this one away as Avon trots 2 guys back deep to return. That's Bennett and Jordanic both back there. That kick is high, angling toward that far sideline. It'll roll out across the 30, short of the 25, ball down right at the 27 of Avon, and that is where the Eagles will start their next drive. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with, well, they took the time off the scoreboard there, but here early in the second quarter, our score, it's Avon 13, Glenville 6. We'll be right back here on the CT YouTube channel, and Tom, we're online.
At WEOL.com.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
After the timeout, back here at Avon, Blake Elder and the Avon offense set to march once again. Empty backfield here, 5 wide receiver look. A quick bubble screen play set up down that far sideline, and that is defended well by Glenville. A minimal gain for the Eagles on that one. And they might have actually lost a yard there, did Avon. Maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage. Either way, though, 2nd and long here after a nice defensive play there for Glenville.
Their speed on the outside is incredible. Boy, they just come close. Their corners close. The linebackers get to the outside quickly. That anything to the outside, anything slow developing, they really get to the ball in a hurry.
Yeah, Jordan Smith, the near side cornerback, and on that far side, you've got Lorenzo Smith as well. And like you said, Tom, just a lot of speed all across that Glenville defense, but particularly on the outside. Turn and give here to the tailback, and that's going nowhere. That play blown up by Glenville as Cam Wendell had nowhere to go. A couple of white jerseys came screaming through on that one.
That's DeAndre Taylor, the 6'2", 245-pound senior defensive tackle. Boy, he just really knifing his way in there.
Yeah, we've called his name a couple of times here tonight. And again, I go back to what Coach Elder had talked about in that pregame interview we had with him, Tom, and that's that Glenville can defend the run without having to load the box. And, boy, that's just such a luxury because when you have the receivers that Avon does, you have the quarterback play that they possess with Blake Elder, you have to respect that, right? You have to respect the pass if you're Glenville's defense. So if you can kind of mitigate the run with minimal bodies in there, that sets you up well on that front. And what do we got here? Another whistle. Surprise, surprise. And a timeout? No. Yes, timeout for Avon. So Coach Elder will burn his 3rd and final timeout here of the first half. I don't think that's something he would have signed up for if we would have told him that before the game. Hey, Mike, you're going to burn all your first half timeouts with 8:19 left to play in the second quarter. But I guess that's just what the situation is presented for Avon here.
And Mike will tell you if that kept us from making a big mistake, then that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, no question about that. So it'll be 3rd and 13 here for Avon. And kind of a big play in the sense that, Tom, I think you're right. You really don't want to make a mistake this deep in your own territory. You don't want your quarterback to force something that might not be there. This is definitely the area of the football field where you don't want to turn it over. I mean, you never want to turn it over, but certainly not in your own territory. We saw Glenville do that on the kickoff back in that first quarter. They coughed it up in their own territory. Avon was able to capitalize off of that, but Avon looking to prevent themselves from making a similar mistake here in the second quarter. Again, it's 13-6 Avon with 8:19 left to play in this first half. They're looking at a 3rd and 13 are the Eagles. Ball at their own 24-yard line. And big thanks to you joining us here on WEOL.com and on the CT YouTube channel. Over 400 of you guys in watching this one. We appreciate the support. Blake Elder back to throw, escapes the pocket far side, telling his guys to go deep. He's looking to heave this one. Now he lets it rip, and that one is over the head of his intended receiver, and a flag comes in. 2 flags come in, probably for the same thing, as that was Finn Jordanic, I believe, the intended wide receiver, and he got held up or tripped up or something to make him upset and something to draw the attention of the officials, and it drew 2 flags. So it should be defensive pass interference against Glenville. Either that or holding, but
I was going to say, grabbed a piece of the jersey. Didn't need to because Jordanic was not going to get to that ball at all.
Well, and that might be what Glenville is trying to argue over there is that, hey, that one was not necessarily catchable, but I think they're going to lose out on that argument.
Over at Adelsburg Stadium, 13-7. The Middies are up on the Panthers of Elyria Catholic.
All right. That's our WEOL.com Stream 2 game.
2 minutes to go in the half over there.
Thank you, Tom. Ron Yance, Mike Rush on hand for that one over at Midview. Dave Rydell in the house there as well. Now look at this, a 4 wide receiver bunch set at the top of your screen, 1 wide receiver near side at the bottom, and that's where Blake Elder's going, and he overshoots him. That was Grant Barr that he was looking for, and I'll tell you what, it's been a fun battle to watch between him and Jordan Johnson, and that was a 3rd down and 3 play, so that penalty did not give Avon the first down. Rather, it made it 3rd and short, and Avon just looking for a quick hitter to their go-to guy, Grant Barr. They don't get it. And now, as we talked about earlier, they thought they'd have to be comfortable punting tonight, said Coach Elder, and that's going to be the case here. Avon will punt this football away.
And Grant must not have got that snap clean because that ball didn't come out of his hand very clean. That's a nice, easy slant pass that he and Grant Barr have thrown 100 times to each other. Just couldn't get it done.
Trevor Sikora punts this one away, and that one angles out of bounds far sideline out across the 35-yard line. Let's see where exactly that one is marked at. It should be right around that 30, 35-yard line. They'll give them, I think, the 30. So that is where Glenville will set up shop now. They trail Avon 13-6, just over 8 minutes left to go here in this first half of play.
We've seen back-to-back punts, so it looks like both defenses are settling in a little bit here.
Yeah, figured that might happen. Just kind of feeling each other out here in the early going. Both offenses able to score points early. Now, like you said, Tom, the defense is starting to lock themselves in as well.
Glenville doing a real nice job of changing bodies defensively, too. We talk about Avon with 23, 24 guys defensively. Glenville's done a real nice job of changing the down linemen on a regular basis, keeping them fresh.
Yeah, no question about that. That's certainly something, like you said, Tom, Avon does well. Glenville making sure to play their part in that as well. You're going to need fresh bodies for a tightly contested physical ball game like we have here tonight. 4 wide receiver set here for Arvell Nelson. He'll quickly dump it off to his running back, Romel Phillips. Phillips with some good blocking, angling near sideline, and he's out of bounds past the 35-yard line, shy of the 40. So a decent pitch and catch there from Arvell Nelson to his tailback, Romel Phillips. Second time we've seen them try to set up that swing pass play here in this first half, Tom, and it works out for a decent gain there.
Yeah, and we always talk about Avon's depth with the numbers with Doug. Glenville has some great depth, too. I think I counted 25 seniors on the roster, but 23 sophomores. And last year, Ted Ginn told us that this sophomore class as freshmen might have been the best group of freshmen he's ever had. And that's saying a lot considering some of the players that have come through that program.
Yeah, no kidding. And here's the give to Phillips once again. Phillips bouncing off some tackles, bringing some guys with him, still running and chugging, and he's out across the 40-yard line near the first down marker. He needs the 41, and let's see where they spot it. One of the officials on that far side of the field, he's standing right at the 41, but the near side guys, I think, have it spotted shy, so it'll be third and about a yard here now for the Glenville offense. A lot of top-tier athletes have come through this Glenville program. 28 guys have made it to the NFL, 2 currently there. As Arvell Nelson under center, he's going to keep it himself on the quarterback sneak, and he gets shoved backwards, but I think forward progress will give him the first down, and yes, it will. So, well, let's see.
And at 6'3", Arvell's just kind of fall forward on that quarterback sneak, and he did.
So, still no official ruling on whether they'll give him the first or not. I mean, I think he's got it there, right?
He's got it.
Yeah, he does. Okay, so that will be a first down as the officials finally indicate. But, yeah, two guys currently still in the NFL that went to Glenville. Kobe Bryant, he plays for the Seahawks, played his college ball at Cincinnati. Marshawn Lattimore, we know all about him, right? The current Washington Commander by way of Columbus. He was an Ohio State Buckeye. But 28 guys that Glenville has sent to the NFL. That one courtesy of ProFootballReference.com. Play for Ted Ginn Sr., you certainly have a shot at making it to the next level and maybe even the one beyond that. Arvell Nelson rolling out. He's got a man open out across the 50, 45, and shoved out of bounds there. I believe that was Elijah Harden, the sophomore wide receiver. A nice catch and run there by Elijah Harden. And I'll tell you what, Tom, Glenville doing a nice job, and Arvell Nelson especially. He's just getting his guys open in space and letting the athletes do what they do.
And that's the first time we see kind of a counter boot action out of Glenville. Really kind of had Avon all going to the right. Nice job by Nelson with the fake turnaround. Got the ball to his back coming out of the backfield.
Another 3 wide receiver set here as Glenville goes with a little pace and tempo here on offense. He'll turn and give to Phillips, Will Nelson, and he'll get about a yard there before he's greeted by a number of purple jerseys. So a short gain there for Phillips. Sets up 2nd and 8 now here for the Glenville offense. Ball spotted just past that Avon 45-yard line, right around the 43.
Deontay Rembrandt loses his helmet from Glenville, so he's got to come off for a play.
Under 6:20 left to play here in this first half. Glenville looking to tie this ball game up here if they can find the end zone and put an extra point through the uprights, although for both teams that's been easier said than done at certain junctures this season. Another 3 wide receiver look here. Wing to Nelson's left. Nelson throws deep down the near sideline. That ball intercepted! Intercepted by Avon, and that is Caden Clapham, the senior cornerback, number 14. Arvell Nelson was looking for his guy, Paulie Sadler, the Bowling Green commit, down the near sideline, and he underthrew him, and that was a great defensive play there by Caden Clapham to step in the way and steal the possession back for Avon. And the Eagle defense has certainly come to life. And look at Clapham. He's fired up. He's got the WWE-style championship belt here on the near sideline, getting the home crowd fired up. And boy, that'll get some juice into this crowd. I'll tell you what, it's been a really good football game here this first half, Tom, but the crowd's been they've kind of been taken out of it at times.
A little quiet, yeah. And nice job. Avon's in his own defense that time, so Clapham's eyes are on the quarterback the whole time. So he tracked that almost like he was covering a punt, took the ball to high point, did a really, really good job of eyeing that ball down. Great job by Clapham on that one.
So Clapham went down at about the 15. That's where Avon will start this possession. Blake Elder in the shotgun here, 4 wide receiver look. Keontae Smith on his left. Man in motion, that's Grant Barr. He'll turn, he'll give to Keontae Smith. No, Elder will keep it on the read option, and he gets out across the 10. They'll give him the 11, or I'm sorry, the 16 rather. I hope if I could read the field markers. So a 1-yard gain there for Blake Elder sets up 2nd and 9 now for the Eagle offense.
And again, it looked like that was actually Trevor Maley that was in for that
Was
play.
that Maley? Okay,
yeah,
thank
they
you,
brought
Tom.
him in to do a little zone read, but that closed up in a hurry.
Now Blake Elder's back out there. That is number 19. And again, that Glenville run defense, it is legitimate. They put 6 in the box here. Creep another safety up in there. Elder takes the shotgun snap. He's looking up the near sideline. He's got a man, Grant Barr, and that's a beautiful back shoulder throw there to Grant Barr as he's out across the 30, shoved out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line. He was working against the Buffalo commit Chris Newell Jr. on that one, and that was a great catch there.
And I don't know Newell can cover that much better than what he did. Barr just makes a late break on the ball. That's about as good a coverage as you'll see, but that'll tell you about the communication between Barr and Elder there. They are really hitting on all 8 cylinders tonight.
Well, and Barr never really gave away that ball was coming back shoulder. He kind of kept himself squared up the field until the very last moment. He whipped his body around and put himself in a nice position to catch that back shoulder throw, and it was an absolute beauty of a toss there by Blake Elder. 4 wide receiver look here again for Elder. He's looking for Keontae Smith, and he gets blown up. Saw that one coming from a mile away. Jordan Johnson saw it too. He came shooting up the field.
Jordan read that at the snap of the ball. As soon as he saw the back flare this way, Jordan Johnson came like he was being shot out of a cannon on that one.
Yeah, that's the old lookout ball right there. As soon as Elder throws that, he's probably screaming look out to his receiver there, Keontae Smith. And Smith, hopefully he's all right. He'll get himself a well-deserved breather after that one, as that was a heck of a hit there by Jordan Johnson, 5'8", $152, but I'm sure it felt a lot bigger and heavier than that. So an empty look here for Blake Elder. 5 wide receivers here on 2nd and long. Elder takes the snap. He's looking at the sideline, and that's a short pitch and catch there to his receiver, Clapham. As Caden Clapham picks up about 5 there on the nice little out route. Nothing fancy there, but sets up 3rd and manageable now for the Avon offense. Ball spotted at their own 39-yard line. They need the 44 for a first down.
You know, Clapham worked his way into the starting lineup last year. He had a great run in the state tournament. Great game against Anderson. Has really just taken off this year. Had a really good game against St. Ignatius, start with 2 touchdown receptions.
Yeah, it was a nice blend of returning players and newcomers this season for Mike Elder's Eagles. And we'll certainly keep tabs on how things play out this season for them. And here's the turn and give to Cam Wendell on 3rd and 5. He's not going to get there. He'll get to the 42. And so it'll be 4th down and about 2 now for the Avon offense. Cam Wendell, again, took that snap right back up the middle, but didn't have a whole lot of wiggle room there. So 4th and short now here for Avon, and I think they're going to go for it. Yes, they will. The offense stays out there. And I think they're struggling to communicate the play here. Grant Barr kind of threw his hands up at the sidelines. Now they get set. Late shift here on the offensive front, and, yep, that'll be a false start. Saw that one from up here. That's number 9. Who is that? Killian Hasig.
Lined up in the H-back spot there.
Yeah, Killian Hasig in that H-back spot. Like you said, Tom, just kind of took that half step forward. It was very obvious up here, which means the guys down there certainly saw. Or no, neutral zone infraction. So Glenville jumped first on that. Okay. So I think maybe it was DeAndre Taylor, number 23. He was the only one I saw move for Glenville.
I didn't.
So Hasig purposely, not purposely, timed it up perfectly, I guess, and moved after Glenville had already crossed the neutral zone. Look at this, a reverse now. Barr looking to turn the corner on that far sideline. Barr breaks one tackle but can't escape another, and he is wrestled down hard just shy of the 50. So another set of trickery there for Mike Elder.
That's a whole lot of running for 2 yards, and that's when we talk about that lateral speed for Glenville. They closed quickly on that one.
Yeah, a lot of east-west there for Grant Barr. Just couldn't get as north as he may have wanted. So a short 2-yard gain there for Grant Barr on the reverse. That's up 2nd and 8 now for Avon. Ball at their own 49-yard line as we are just at 3 minutes left to play here in this first half. Again, 13-6 Avon our score on top of Glenville. Blake Elder found Dylan Luker for a 7-yard touchdown pass. Cam Wendell found the end zone as well on a 2-yard touchdown run. Romel Phillips, the lone touchdown for Glenville, his 3-yard touchdown run in that first quarter. Blake Elder escaping pressure, just has to throw this one away into the Glenville sideline, so a good coverage there by the Tarblooder secondary. Sets up 3rd and 8 now for Avon. Ball still at their own 49.
Score from down the road, Highland 34, Avon Lake 7 at the half. And nobody's taken a tougher non-league schedule than Avon Lake. Lake Catholic, Strongsville, and Highland, 3 playoff teams, 3 teams with good, strong football history. Boy, Avon Lake really taking it on the chin at home tonight.
Yeah, Highland is a tremendous football team for obvious reasons. One of our Medina County coverage teams, and yeah, they are taking it to the Shoreman here tonight. Blake Elder here on 3rd down, scrambling out of pressure. Flag gets thrown. We'll see what that one is. Elder just throws this one over everybody's head down the far sideline, and I think this one would have came back anyway. Yeah, it'll be a hold against Avon, so let's see what Glenville does here. It would be 4th and 8 if they decline it, but they could maybe back Avon up even further if they accept it and then get another 3rd down stop.
I think he's going to back him up because Mike's been going on 4th down, right?
Well, and it's, again, one of those kind of awkward positions. You're right around midfield. You don't love punting it from right there, but it would be 4th and 8, and it is declined. So 4th and 8 it will remain here for the Avon offense. And let's see.
2:37 to go in the half, and just a reminder that Glenville will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah. So they will punt this one away, will Avon, as they get their special teams unit onto the field. That will be Trevor Sikora punting this one away. He gets it off quickly, and this one is fielded by Glenville at their own 15-yard line. Return man shoved out of bounds far sideline, rather, at the 20. So that is where Glenville will set up shop on this next offensive possession. Let's sneak in a quick timeout with 2:30 left to go here in the first half. It's Avon 13, Glenville 6. You're watching live on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel and Tom online.
At WEOL.com.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
Back here at Avon, welcome in our 523 viewers on the CT YouTube and on WEOL.com. And a big hit there on what was a nice run there for Glenville, as that was Arvell Nelson who kept it himself. I don't think you want your quarterback taking hits like that on a consistent basis, Tom. I don't know, you tell me. But
no, that was a shot he took.
Boy, and who hit him there? I couldn't even see who that was. Was that Stolarski that came through and blew him up? I'm not sure, but Arvell Nelson, he took the punishment after an 11-yard run. He got himself a first down for his Tarblooder offense, but again, he paid a little bit of a price for it.
Midview up at halftime over the Panthers, Valeria Catholic 20-7.
Thank you, Tom. We'll certainly take a look at some more scores from around the area once we hit halftime, as here's the turn and give to Jalen Edwards. First time we've called that young man's name here tonight. Edwards takes the carry off right tackle and picks up maybe a couple. The sophomore, tailback. They got him listed at a receiver and defensive back, but he played tailback there to Jalen Edwards, so he picks up 3. They'll mark him down at the 34 of Glenville, so 2nd and 7, again at their own 34-yard line. 1:30 left to play here in this first half. 4 wide receivers set here for Arvell Nelson. He'll turn, he'll swing it to his tailback, Romel Phillips, and he gets met immediately, and Avon snuffed that one out. That was great defense there by the Eagles. And again, they snuffed that one out. That was number 13, Alex Rivera, the senior cornerback who just shot himself right up the field and made the big hit in the backfield. A loss of 2 there for Glenville. Sets up 3rd and 9 now for the Tarblooders at their own 32, as we're down to 65 seconds left in this first half. So I don't think Glenville
kind of taking a good old time here about it. Yeah, they're not in any rush right now.
Yeah, they don't want Avon adding any, cheapy freebie points here at the end of this first half. I think they're not content with being down 7 going into the locker room, but I think they'll have to live with it. Play clock down to 2. Arvell Nelson sees it, and he'll get the quick timeout. The Avon defenders wanting to delay a game. They won't get it, though. Arvell Nelson calls timeout, and I think that was Glenville's last, or did they have 2 left? That was their last timeout. Thank you, Jared. So we'll just keep it right here. Again, Rocco Nushi, Tom Evans here with you. Jared Kozar, our on-site engineer. Gary Pelter in his perch right below us atop the bleachers here on the home sidelines. Amongst a sea of Eagle faithful down there, as he's been battling some of those Eagle fans, not from a literal standpoint, but just from a camera work standpoint. So we appreciate you fighting the good fight down there, Pelt. So Glenville here on 3rd and long. Avon out of timeouts. Really, you know, if you're Glenville and you truly just wanted to run this first half out, you could have Arvell Nelson just kind of take one of those shotgun snaps, take a few steps back, take a knee, let the rest of the clock expire. So I imagine that is what we'll see on this 3rd and 9, but we've seen crazier things before. So Glenville breaks the huddle. Again, 3rd and 9, ball at their own 32-yard line. Nelson, he'll turn, he'll pitch it to his tailback, and he's going to wiggle himself across the 35-yard line. As that was, who was that? That was Gary Pritchett on the carry there. Pritchett looking for some room, didn't have a lot of it. And with both sides out of timeouts, the Glenville offense will walk off the field, and I think that is how this first half will come to a close. As, again, both sides are out of timeout. Avon can't stop it. Glenville, I don't think, wants to stop it. Couldn't even if they wanted to. As we're down to 10 seconds left here in this first half. And, yeah, that'll be how this first half comes to a close. All right, so we'll head to the halftime locker room with our score, Avon 13, Glenville 6. When we come back, we'll recap some of the scoring action from this first half of play. It was an exciting first half here at Avon. Not as many fireworks as we may have thought, but some good action here through the first 24 minutes, so we'll talk about it some more after this timeout. We'll take a look at some more scores from around the area. Tom, you've been doing well, keeping us updated on that front. And maybe we'll hear from the Avon band as well when we return. Again, our score here at the break, it is Avon 13, Glenville 6. We'll be right back here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. And, Tom, we're streaming online as well.
At WEOL.com.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about Eco-Tree Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted Eco-Tree. They did an incredible job. The folks at Eco-Tree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact Eco-Tree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find Eco-Tree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
Lorain County has a story every day. Make sure you don't miss it. From breaking news in high school sports to schools, business, and community events, the Chronicle has it all. Stay connected to your neighbors and your home team with coverage that matters most to you. Don't just hear about Lorain County, know Lorain County. Subscribe today at chroniclet.com/subscribe and get the news that keeps you in the know. The Chronicle Telegram, Lorain County's largest newspaper.
Back here at Avon, it is halftime as the Eagles hold a 1-touchdown lead over Glenville, 13-6. Avon leading the Tarblooders here at the halftime break. Hey, do want to thank all 3 of our sponsors for hopping on board with us, not only tonight, but throughout the entirety of this first half of the season thus far. Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street. Eco-Tree Services, they are your complete tree care company. And of course, our friends over at 468 Cleveland Street in Elyria, that's Stewart's TV and Appliance. Make sure you guys stay tuned to WEOL the rest of tonight, obviously. But then tomorrow morning, Jared and I, we're right back at the Chronicle Telegram, the lovely studios that we have developed over there. That'll be the site for now. Tom, you're not supposed to laugh at that.
Oh, sorry.
Tom. Not supposed to laugh at that. That was serious.
Is my mic live?
That was serious.
That's right.
The lovely studios over at the Chronicle Telegram, where we will be efforting another Nick Abraham Saturday Sports wrap-up show. We'll hear from our winning coaches. We'll try to get Chris Drew on to talk some Buckeye football as well. I know they got a doozy tomorrow against Grambling State, but had a big win last week over the number 1 ranked team in the land, Texas. And Tom, I never really got any thoughts from you on that one. I know obviously we're here for Avon Glenville. We'll talk about this first half, but thoughts on the Buckeyes?
Everybody knows in my blood I'm a defensive guy, and I love to see great defense. And certainly there were very conservative game plans last week, but in Mike Patricia, I was worried, quite honestly. Here's a guy first time in the college ranks after being in the pros all that time. But, boy, the Buckeyes played some defense now. Albeit Texas, that's not the Texas we're going to see in about 3 or 4 weeks because they'll be a different team. But I was impressed with Ohio State's quarterback. I thought his accuracy was incredible. I thought all of his throws were where they needed to be. I didn't see any in the dirt. I didn't see any that were 3 foot over top. So Julian saying I was pretty impressed, and I think the Buckeyes, as they move forward, that offense will open up as well. But just a great defensive tassel last week, and a great job by my Buckeyes coming through. And pretty emotional. My sons went down. That was my gift to them. They went down. They wanted to see Lee Corso's last game. That was a pretty good gig down there as well. So.
How about Lee Corso on his final day on game day? 6 for 6 with his picks.
Yeah,
How about that?
Wow. Absolutely.
The legend going out on top. No, that was an impressive win for the Buckeyes. No doubt. I think you're right with Texas. We'll see a different Longhorn team later on. But, yeah, impressive first game for Julian Sane. I thought he made the right reads, didn't try to force too much down the field. I think we'll see him open, it up a little more.
I think he's going to have to run his own read. I think late in the game, Texas was given the opportunity to because they were just collapsing on the back, that if he'd have pulled the ball and taken off, there was a lot of green space on the outside. I get your first time starting quarterback that you're not going to do that, but I think at some point in time this season teams are going to make force him to take the football on his own read.
Yeah, so the Buckeyes started their title defense in a nice, not dominating fashion, but just a nice win last week over Texas. So certainly excited to see what the Buckeyes can do the rest of this season. But here at Avon, it is a 13-6 Eagle lead over Glenville, as it was Blake Elder getting the scoring started tonight. He found his senior tight end, Dylan Luker, kind of a scramble drill there for Blake Elder, finding Luker open in the corner of the end zone, made it 7-0 Avon at that juncture. Romel Phillips for Glenville would follow that with his own touchdown run on the ensuing Glenville drive. The 2-point conversion was no good. That kept it 7-6. Avon's lead was down to 1, and they but pushed it right back to 7 with a Cam Wendell 2-yard touchdown scamper. Jensen Petro's extra point was blocked. And so we'll see if that special teams play becomes a factor as the night rolls along. I know we hit on it a couple of times in that first half, Tom, but again, that was the scoring from the first half of play, 13-6, our score here at the break. Tom, I guess we can start with you. Any overarching, prevailing thoughts that really stood out from either side through those first 24 minutes of action?
Yeah, the depth that Glenville has. We've seen they've always had great talent under Ted Ginn, but watching what they can do defensively, and I think Avon thought maybe that this is going to be a game where they could maybe wear them down a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be the case because Glenville is making as many changes defensively as Avon is. So I don't know that that's going to come into play, and I think Avon uses that a lot of times. The second half is going to be, as I talked, the second half is going to be about mistakes. And both teams Glenville made a ton of mistakes. Robert Zeller is a good friend of mine. The assistant AD over there texted me. He goes, their worst half of football all year.
Wow.
So, so I expect more. Now, part of that's induced by pretty good defense by Avon.
Sure.
Pretty well-prepared Avon team. But I think we're going to see a few more fireworks here in the second half.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I think, Glenville's depth certainly impressed me. We heard about it all the time. We hear about it all the time, I should say, with Avon. But Glenville certainly boasting a number of different guys in that rotation as well. And for Avon, I think they did a decent job of limiting their own mistakes in that first half. A couple of penalties kind of piled up on them a bit at times there, killed a couple of drives there for Avon. But all in all, I think efficient play from quarterback Blake Elder. He's done a good job finding his favorite targets. Grant Barr has got himself involved early and often in this one. I'll tell you what, one thing I'm kind of surprised on, and I guess it's a good thing if you're a defender and we're not calling your name a lot, Jacob Witherspoon, the North Carolina commit. He's made a number of highlight plays here in his Avon career. I don't think we said his name once in that first half, but again, with defenders, Tom, sometimes it's a good thing if we're not calling you out.
Absolutely. And, Avon pulled out every trick they had in the first half, and I know Mike's still got some more. And Mike's really got him on special teams sometimes, too. So I'm curious to see what Mike's – I know he's still got a few left in that bag of tricks of his, so we'll see what they do coming out. But, kind of a sloppy first half.
Yeah.
Once we got by the first 3 scores, it really kind of penalties and ball on the ground and just, not getting plays in, calls made, just really lack of flow to it.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. So, again, our score here at the break, it is Avon 13, Glenville 6. We do have some scores from around the area that we'd like to pass along, but why don't we take a quick timeout? Maybe we let the band play themselves out here on the WEOL.com and Chronicle Telegram YouTube stream, and I think by the time they're done, we'll still have plenty of time to go through some scores from around the area. So why don't we do that? We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll treat you to some playing here of the Avon band. Again, our score here at the break, it's Avon 13, Glenville 6. We'll be right back here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, and Tom, we're online.
At WEOL.com.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Lorain County has a story every day. Make sure you don't miss it. From breaking news and high school sports to schools, business, and community events, the Chronicle has it all. Stay connected to your neighbors and your home team with coverage that matters most to you. Don't just hear about Lorain County, know Lorain County. Subscribe today at chroniclet.com/subscribe and get the news that keeps you in the know. The Chronicle Telegram, Lorain County's largest newspaper. Lorraine County has a story every day. Make sure you don't miss it. From breaking news and high school sports to schools, business, and community events, the Chronicle has it all. Stay connected to your neighbors and your home team with coverage that matters most to you. Don't just hear about Lorraine County, know Lorraine County. Subscribe today at chroniclet.com/subscribe and get the news that keeps you in the know. The Chronicle Telegram, Lorraine County's largest newspaper.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorraine County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
Never again.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
All right, back here at Avon as, well, what is that ringing? That is something with the PA or something, but yeah, that'll get some attention up here in the press box. That's all right. Is the Avon band treating us to some tunes and entertainment there? The Avon dance team, they kind of came out of nowhere. They surprised me there, Tali. Although you were the keeper of the secret over there.
Well, yeah, my one of my former teachers, Shelly Studier, her daughter was out there, a member of the dance team, showing off, and I knew that ahead of time. I probably should have given you the heads up on it.
All right.
I had a little inside information on that one.
Boy. Here, I'm thinking we're a team over here. You're turning heel on me over there. Well, I got to throw as many wrestling references out there as I can with one Mr. Jared Kozar in the house. I got to try to keep up, and I feel like I'm doing that with my cinematic viewings throughout the summer. Tom,
it's a little scary. I mean, it's like,
Well, finally saw Caddyshack after 5.5 years of you guys
if you
just
give us
dogging
a Gunga,
me for not.
Lagunga, then I'll know.
Well. Yeah, maybe one day every single reference you guys throw at me won't just sail over the head. But at least for Caddyshack, I can get it. You guys can thank Rocco Sr., by the way, for the job finally being done on that front. He's a good dude. He's tuning in from Cuyahoga Falls right now watching. He said you can catch him at Stewart's TV and Appliance. So, big thanks to Rocco Sr. for watching tonight and for introducing me to Caddyshack. So thanks, Dad. Love you. Appreciate you for tuning in. So again, here at the half, it is Avon 13, Glenville 6. And I do want to thank our sponsors again, Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street. Eco Tree Services, your complete tree care company, and of course the aforementioned Stewart's TV and Appliance over on 468 Cleveland Street in Elyria. I actually passed them on my way here to Avon today. So as we get set for second half action. Tom, you had mentioned one of the texts you had gotten from one of your Glenville counterparts that was maybe the worst first half of football that they had pieced together here through the first 3 weeks. Now, granted, it was only 2 first halves of football before this to compare it to, but they didn't look their sharpest, I don't think, through those first 24 minutes.
No, and that's what he said. He said this is their worst half of football, and a lot of things go into that. Part of it is Avon playing some pretty good football themselves, but as we talked about, so no continuity, no flow. I think Glenville is really excited to start with the football in the second half and set the tone.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they had success early just getting athletes into space, and that really never disappeared. I just think it was, a couple too many penalties. They were getting behind the sticks on a couple of those possessions. I thought when they just kept it simple, stayed on schedule, stayed ahead of the sticks, things worked out in their favor. But once you put yourself in a second and long, third and long situation against either defense, that's tough to go up against, but especially this Avon defense where we know what they possess.
Absolutely.
On that
side. A lot of good athletes play a lot of good defense out there.
And same could be said for Avon, I think, ultimately. It was kind of a similar story. I think when they were taking what they had. Granted, they did hit on a couple of big plays. We saw some trickery in that first half as well. Grant Barr got himself active early and often. Blake Elder was making a lot of the right decisions, especially on those first 2 drives. But I think after that, it was a combination of the Glenville defense stepping things up a little bit, and then the Avon offense, they started to pile up the penalties. They started to shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. So I think really the second half of football really comes down to, and I know it may seem simple, maybe overly simple, but who can make the fewer mistakes? Who can beat the other team and not beat themselves?
There's no question that's what the second half is going to be all about.
So we will see how that plays out. Tom, you got some scores to pass along.
Got some scores here at halftime. Sandusky 13, Lorraine 7 at halftime. Highland 34, Avon Lake 7 at the half. Midview over Elyria Catholic 20-7. Just into the third quarter, North Ridgeville 13, North Royalton nothing. Amherst 34-0 over North Olmsted. Wow. Wellington 15-6 over Plymouth. Olmsted Falls up on Strongsville 21-14. Brunswick up 35-0 on Elyria. Columbia up 28-0 on Northwestern. Bay all over Firelands 28-0. And a score that only one person listening out there cares about, and that's my brother, Cuyahoga Heights. The Red Wolves up 21-18 on the Crestwood Red Devils.
All right, well, I can get the Battle of the Reds.
Battle of the Reds, the Red Wolves and the Red Devils.
How about that?
Lots of red over at Crestwood tonight.
I guess so. Well, some of those scores play nicely for me, not necessarily because I have any, rooting interest either way, but my Chronicle Telegram picket line selections have fallen a little short through the first 2 weeks of action, I think, as me and Tim Gebby are bringing up the rear. So you got the savvy vet in Gebby and the newbie in me both bringing up the rear. Not what you want to see in those standings, but I think this week presents a good opportunity for me to maybe make up some ground.
And dare I say the pick in this game was 10-1.
Oh, boy. Who had that one,
Avon,
Tom?
But you, Mr. Nushi, were the lone soldier to pick the Tarblooders tonight.
Yeah. Well, you look at what they had on the schedule. You go down to Massillon. You beat the Tigers Tigers in overtime on the road. That's beyond hostile territory down there in Tigerland, right? I think they
that's a whole
football.
That's a whole different definition of hostile when you go to Massillon.
Gosh, I mean, shout out my Uncle Bob and Aunt Jen. They live down there. I don't think they've missed a game ever. So we know what that possesses. And then you take on the defending Division I champs and you beat them on the road last week. So I guess it came down. Why not? Why not pick them to come in here and beat the defending, Division II state champs? And I think if I had, told Mike Elder why not, he would have given me a nice laundry list of reasons as to why I should pick his Eagles. But
I could tell that Mike didn't know that when you guys did the interview.
No, I was sure not to share that information with him prior to hitting him up the other day. That could have been a disastrous set of questions there for me. So. The lights are a flickering here. That signals the start of the third quarter here at Avon. And again, that was the halftime show. Big thanks to the Avon Marching Band for treating us to some entertainment, along with the dance team getting their honor here at the half as well. So again, it is Glenville to start the second half with the football. They won the coin toss and had deferred to Avon. So they'll plant a couple of guys back deep to return. That is Jalen Edwards and London Hearn back there. We've seen a couple of different guys back to return kicks tonight for Glenville.
And I got to believe Avon's going to continue with what they've done so far, and that's kick the ball down on the ground, make them pick up a bouncing ball back there.
So Jensen Petro gets set to boot this one. Well, maybe not deep, but squib this one across the field. As again, Edwards and Hearn are both back deep to receive for Glenville. So here comes Petro charging towards it, and he does squib it out to the far side. That is Hearn, who will pick it up on that far sideline. He'll start his return. He makes a man miss. Uh-oh, he's got room to run. Out across the 40. Flag gets thrown, and I think that one might be against Glenville as Kalen Bailey, the junior, number 7, immediately kind of threw his hands up at the officials as to say, hey, wait a minute, what was I doing wrong there? And, well, they'll tell you, you held. And so back Glenville up 10 yards from the spot of that foul. Not sure exactly where that happened. It was right in the area of that 30-yard line. Continued discussion amongst the officials.
And again, a good 30 yards away from the play. This is on the Avon hash when the ball actually went to the Glenville sideline.
And that's just one of those things where you're frustrated, you get tangled up with a guy, and you just kind of do something you regret, right? So sometimes that's the way it goes. So back Glenville up 10 from the spot of that foul. And maybe that happened further downfield than I thought, as the official will mark this one across the 30, it looks like. Maybe right around that 32-yard line. That's exactly where the official will spot this football, and that is where Glenville will go to work on their first offensive possession of this second half. Again, 13-6, Avon up 7. As Blake Elder found Dylan Luca for a touchdown. Cam Wendell finding the end zone as well. Romel Phillips has the lone score for Glenville, as Nelson will throw to a receiver here. He'll get about 3 yards there. That was Gary Pritchett, the sophomore wide receiver, seeing some action here tonight. He usually holds on the special team kicks, but
that's the very same play we saw him start the game with, a little swing pass out to the left-hand side there.
And how about this? That's Anir Lemon, the kicker we see lining up on the bottom of your screen, split out far to Arvell Nelson's right. And a funky formation here offensively. Another screen play set up to Pritchett. Pritchett nearly dropped it, finally corrals it, as Lance Dawson nearly intercepted that, but that'll be a loss of a couple there for Gary Pritchett. Really nowhere to go. Lance Dawson sort of blew that play up. He didn't make the tackle, but a couple of Eagles followed him in pursuit there and made the stop, so it'll be 3rd and long now here for this Glenville offense. Couple of substitutions here for the Tarblooders. They'll trot some fresh bodies onto the field. Jamal Goodson and Elijah Harden. Both sophomores make their way onto the turf, as Arvell Nelson looks to get his troop set here at the line of scrimmage. 3 wide receiver look. He's got an H-back and a tailback on his left hip. Does Arvell Nelson. He'll take the shotgun snap. He'll look left. He'll step up in the pocket under some pressure. Nelson in trouble. Nelson just fires this one high toward his own sideline. It's out of bounds. Nobody in the area. I think Coach Elder's asking about maybe grounding or something. Don't think he'll get it, but either way, a 3 and out. And how about that, Tom? The Eagle defense.
Yeah, not the way the Tarblooders wanted to start this second half.
Yeah, no, not at all. Arvell Nelson just had nowhere to go on that passing attempt on 3rd and long. Great blanket coverage there by the Eagle defense. Good work by the secondary for the guys in purple. And they'll get the football right back for their offense following this Glenville punt, as Glenville went nowhere on their first possession of the second half. Yeah, certainly not what Ted Ginn Sr. and the offensive coaching staff had in mind over there on the opposite sideline. And that snap is over the head of the punter, Lemon. That ball is loose. Lemon looking to get after it. Finally does. Now he'll just try to run with it. A couple of guys in pursuit. Lemon up the far sideline, still breaking tackles, still running. Now he finally gets brought down shy of the 35, but a flag gets thrown right near that 17-yard line. So that could be all for naught, and it is. A hold will go against Glenville. And I think Avon would just decline that, as they brought Lemon down shy of the line to gain, well shy. Unless they think they can somehow earn better field or starting field position off of that, but I don't think so. You'll be looking at this football, within the Glenville 40, maybe even the 35, if you just decline it, as the officials will continue to discuss. I'm not sure what that discussion might be. I think a pretty easy decision here for Coach Mike Elder, no?
Yeah, Mike's going to take that. I can't imagine he would not take the football.
Yeah. So now they officially do call the hold, and it is declined. So Avon will get the football back, and it looks like they'll have it, right near the Glenville 25-yard line is where this possession will start. So, man, picture-perfect start time to the second half for Avon. They forced the 3-and-out. The punt gets fumbled right on the snap. Lemon tried to make something out of nothing. A holding call would have wiped away any sort of gain anyway. And so now Avon in prime position to make this a 2-score game. So Blake Elder in the offense back out there. As Elder looks like he'll get under center here. One of the few times we've seen that happen tonight. They bunch that line of scrimmage. Wendell in the backfield with him. Wide receiver on the top of the screen. He's the man in motion coming to the near side. Elder, he'll take the snap. He'll turn. He'll give to Cam Wendell. Wendell looking for some running room. Not much there, though, as a sea of white jerseys corralled him down. The first to greet him, Sincere Johnson, the Ohio State commit. 6'2", 225-pound senior. He's a load, and he brought down Wendell for a minimal gain there.
And I think you just got to keep kind of hammering the ball at him inside because you don't want him teeing off on your passing game.
4 wide receiver set here for Blake Elder, and another whistle, and what a timeout for Glenville. So, man, going from bad to worse.
Glenville's defensive coordinator is beside himself on the sideline over there. He was not happy to have to call a timeout. Had to be a misalignment or maybe the wrong people in the game at the wrong time. So
take me into that huddle over there then, Coach, because that's a number of miscommunications that we've seen on both sides, but Glenville's had a number of those here tonight. Is that a result of coaching getting the play call in late? Is that your captains on the field not communicating correctly? What's going on?
Yeah, that's
there?
somebody not paying attention to what's going on because that's Avon's in our regular spread offense there. They're 2 and 2 wide on that one, so that's a pretty basic offense that they're seeing. So that's somebody either not being on the field that's supposed to be on the field or somebody on the field misaligned.
I guess that's maybe sometimes the downside to trying to rotate so many different guys in. Obviously, it's great to have depth and keep fresh bodies out there, but it could also complicate things when you have different personnel packages and things like that.
Well, I guarantee if they make those kind of mistakes, that'll limit their rotation time. Because Coach will have them stand at him more than on the field.
That's one solution for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So after the timeout, Avon facing a 2nd and 9 at the Glenville 24-yard line. And here we go, another 2x2 set here for quarterback Blake Elder. In that pistol look with Cam Wendell right behind him, and another whistle. This time a flag is thrown, and this one will be on the defense. What was that?
Legal substitution.
Legal substitution. So, boy, that one's really, I think, unforgivable, right? If you're the Glenville
they just came out of the huddle. They snapped the ball,
right?
12 guys on the field.
Boy, so even when you call the timeout to get yourself set, you commit the penalty anyway. Like you said, 12 guys on the field. Man, how do you have that happen after a timeout? I don't know. That'll be a not fun part of the Saturday film session for these guys, I'm sure. So 2nd and 9 becomes 2nd and 4. Ball moves up now to the Glenville 19-yard line. Now an empty set here for Blake Elder. 3 to his right, 2 to his left. He sits in the shotgun. He takes the snap. Elder looking near side. He's got a man on the out route, and he's got it complete. That pass is caught by Jackson Palmer. First time we've called that young man's name tonight, as Palmer has it out across the 15-yard line. That's good for an Eagle first down.
Great job of going down low and getting it, and Elder threw that the only place where his guy could get it and the other guy couldn't, so
Jackson,
low and away.
Jackson Palmer getting himself in on the action. His first catch of the year, if I'm not mistaken, based on the stats that head coach Mike Elder gave me earlier this week. So nice job by that young man there. Elder to throw again here. He's got a man on the slant route, caught inside the 5, or near that 5, I should say. Who else? Grant Barr. Just a nice, easy slant route there. Beat his man off the line of scrimmage. And a nice pitch and catch there. Gets Avon that much closer to pay dirt. That ball spotted, right around that 5-yard line.
And that's great recognition by Barr because that corner's giving him his inside shoulder. So he's just taking that straight to the middle and getting his body between the defender and the football.
Yeah, you're just playing leverage on that if you're Grant Barr, and it was a nice job there. Man in motion here, Dylan Luker. He'll switch sides on the line of scrimmage. Elder in that pistol set. Wendell in the backfield with him. They'll fake the jet sweep. They'll give to Wendell.
Wow.
Wendell up the middle, nearly untouched. He gets tripped up into the end zone. Touchdown, Avon. Cam Wendell. Did a nice job following the blocking there. The big fellas up front paved the way, and Avon, they capitalize on the Glenville mistake. They score to start this second half. It's now 19-6 Eagles. With 8:53 left to play here in this third quarter. Just a picture-perfect start here to this second half for Avon. They get the 3 and out. They force the mishap on the Glenville punt. And Cam Wendell makes them pay with 6 points there. Jensen Petro, he's on for the extra point. Snap back, hold down, kick up, and good. So our score with 8:53 left to play here in this third quarter. It is Avon 20, Glenville 6. We'll be back with more of the WEOL Gridiron Clash, streaming live on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. And where else, Tommy?
At WEOL.com.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Cam Wendell's 5-yard touchdown run and Jensen Petro's extra point makes this a 14.2 possession lead for Avon. They lead Glenville 20-6 with 8:53 left to play here in this third quarter. Rakanushi, Tom Evans here with you on the call. Jared Kozar, our on-site engineer in the house as well. Gary Pelter right below us outside the press box here, high atop the bleachers at Avon here on the home sideline. So glad you can all be with us here on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Over 500 of you guys were in on the stream last I had checked. So as always, we love and appreciate the support. Petro pooches this one, and it's fielded by Glenville's London Hearn at about his own 15-yard line. Hearn with room to run here out across the 40, still breaking tackles. Now he's finally brought down shy of the 45. As London Hearn, he's had a couple of nice returns tonight, some of which have been wiped away because of penalty. And oh boy, and what
and
now?
That ball did not get down on the ground, so that's kind of a line drive that he took.
I thought we maybe had an injured player there. We had a mini pile there out near the 45. Maybe ball was ripped away from Hearn late, so maybe they thought it was a fumble, but it was not. So Glenville will start this possession at their own 44-yard line, and really feels kind of like a game-breaking drive here for both sides here, Tom. Glenville, I think they maybe need to find the end zone here on this possession to stay with Avon.
They need to string together some first downs. They got to get some continuity going because they just really haven't been able to really out of character for the Tarblooders.
Yeah, they went, I mean, literally nowhere. 0 positive yards on that last drive, and then the botched snap on the fumble as Arvell Nelson back to pass, and he gets wrestled down. That's Vinny DiTilio. He was not fooled on the pump fake. DiTilio stayed right with him, and that young man has been everywhere tonight. The senior captain, Vinny DiTilio, came into tonight with 5 tackles, 1 for a loss, and he's adding to both of those stats here tonight. That defensive front for Avon has been electric. Vinny DiTilio up there, Nolan Robke, haven't called his name a whole lot, but he's up there wreaking havoc. Lance Dawson, haven't really mentioned him a lot either, but he's certainly a staple of that defensive front. And
Ryan Wasaki in there too, making some big plays, number 78.
Nelson back to pass, little screen pass here, and it's set up well. Romel Phillips on the catch. He's got some blockers. Now he bounces it outside. He's out near the 50. Late flag gets thrown, and that one looks like it'll go against Marquise Whipple of Glenville. It was right in his area, and he immediately started doing, the whole jumping jack, hey, no, I didn't do that situation, and now we have a down eagle. Yeah, who is that? Let's see. Got an eagle rolling around on the ground there. That is number 13. And oh, boy, he's holding that right knee. That is not what you like to see. That is Alex Rivera.
He got up, he took a couple steps and was hopping and went down pretty quickly.
So they will tend to Alex Rivera. Head coach Mike Elder makes his way out toward his injured senior as well. So I'll tell you what, while they take a look at Rivera, let's step aside, take a quick timeout. When we return, it'll be Glenville football looking at a 2nd and 16 at their own 38-yard line. We had a flag thrown on that play, though, as well. Our score with 8:01 left to play here in the third, it's Avon 20, Glenville 6. We'll be back.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
So a nice round of applause here at Avon for senior cornerback Alex Rivera, and that's as good a sign as any, as I guess you might see. He's walking off under his own power. He's got the whole, training staff behind him. He's getting some high fives and some love from his teammates. Slight hobble.
Got a pretty good limp going there.
Yeah. And
see if the training staff can work their magic.
You try not to play doctor, but anytime you see anybody holding their knee, but especially a young man like that, senior, been a staple for this Eagle defense, especially this season. So, man, you hope it doesn't extend beyond tonight, more so than anything else, I think, as he'll head into the training tent there to have the trainers take a closer look at what's going on. But hopefully Alex Rivera is A-OK. Again, he walked off under his own power, so we'll certainly take that for what it is. So, after the holding penalty, 2nd and 23 now, the situation for Glenville. Ball spotted at their own 31-yard line. And this Tarblooders offense, they just look out of sorts here,
Well,
Tom.
they've gotten away from the running game. Everything's been a pass so far here in the second half.
Now in a little option play here, Nelson, he'll toss it to his running back, and now he's got room to run out across the 40. That's number 13, Gary Pritchett. We've called his name a couple of times here tonight. They've kind of lined him up in a number of different spots as the Glenville offense, and he picks up a good chunk there past that original line of scrimmage, just shy of the 50, out across the 45, maybe the 45 and a half, 46-yard line.
And way too early to get away from that running game that was pretty effective in the first half.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought Romel Phillips, he was very active very early, and they've really gone away from him as the game has gone on. Not sure if he got banged up at any point or what. He actually just jogged off the sideline there, but a couple of different guys getting involved now for the Glenville offense. Gary Pritchett on that one. Sets up 3rd and 7 now for Glenville. Ball at their own 47-yard line. 3 wide receivers near side, 1 far side for Arvell Nelson. He steps out of trouble. He fires deep down the field. It's caught. That'll be a first down, but pending on what this penalty is. It's in the area of holding, and if I had to bet my bottom dollar, that would be the call. And sure enough, a hold goes against Glenville. And boy, one step forward, 2 steps back right now for the Tarblooders offense. This offensive line is just piling up those holding calls. So wipe away what would have been a
tremendous
huge
catch.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm not even sure who made that catch. That was number 4, Paulie Sadler, the Bowling Green commit. There you go, Jared. The future Falcon, I should say. So wipe that away, and now it'll be 3rd and 17 as they back the Tarblooders offense back. And you can hear the Boo Birds coming in from that far visiting sideline. They're not in love with some of these holding calls.
I wouldn't
that are going
imagine
against
they
their
are.
guys. Well, yeah. You're typically not a fan of that if it goes against your team. So it is 3rd and 17 now for the Tarblooders at their own 37-yard line. Nelson back to pass. Going to be a screen play set up to McDougall. He's got it, working his way up the far sideline. Dives out across the 45-yard line. He'll be well short of the first down marker. And where will they call him out of bounds at? We've got a couple of different officials in some different spots. I think he got past the 45, to the 46. So that'll set up 4th and long now for Glenville with a 6:34 mark left to go on this 3rd quarter clock. 4th and 9, they'll call it. Ball at the 45. So Glenville, with the way this ball game's going, Tom.
Is there another flag down? It looks like they're walking off.
Oh, there it is, far sideline, sure. It's right at the feet of Ted Kinn Sr., head coach for Glenville, who...
I'm surprised Ted doesn't take it up and throw it up in the stands.
You weren't lying. He almost just seems frustratingly indifferent to what's going on right now. Hands clasped behind the back, headset is off. So Avon declines the holding call, and I think Ted Kinn Sr. might just be in disbelief of what he's seeing right now, but it's one of those things, if you're the officials and you see holding, you got to call it, right? So they'll decline that, though, will Avon. 4th and 9 now for the Tarblooders at their own 45-yard line, and they will... Well, thought they were going to go for it. Now do they trot the special teams unit on late? Yes, they do. And Lemon will trot back deep to punt this one away, and now it'll be Sammy Ullery trotting back deep to receive for Avon. Snap is away, punt is off. It's a wobbly one that lands inside the 30. We'll take a Glenville bounce, fielded by Ullery at his own 20. Ullery breaking tackles, squeaks through a couple of defenders, and finally gets wrestled down near that 35-yard line. So the Eagle defense again stands strong. They force the Glenville punt, and now the Eagle offense will go back to work right near their own 35-yard line. So again, this strong start to the second half continues for Avon. This is just what Mike Elder wanted.
Here's some updated scores. Midview all over Larry Catholic 34-7 late in the third quarter. Olmsted Falls and Strongsville tied up in the third at 21 apiece.
Wow. It's a good one between Olmsted Falls and Strongsville. Similar styles, though, Tom, right now that you were telling me about. Olmsted Falls, we know kind of that triple option that they run, but Strongsville adapting that now as well.
Strongsville has a stud running back over there, so they're putting a saddle on him and they're riding him as far as they can take it.
You ever seen Derrick Henry's high school rushing numbers?
Yeah.
50 carries a game or whatever it was. Unbelievable. Blake Elder under center here. Man in motion. That's Jordanic. Moving from left to right on that line of scrimmage. Play action here to the tailback. Elder looking to throw. He's got a man, and he overshoots him. That was Dylan Luker who caught that first touchdown reception of the night for Avon. He was looking for big yardage there, but Elder overshot him.
Nice setup. That was that little delayed drag route with the tight end coming shallow across, and he just overthrew him.
You don't really see just the true basic play action that much in high school football anymore. It's a lot of read option and things like that.
Well, that's a tough one to run against Glenville because that takes time to run, and they're really coming after you.
Yeah, that front for Glenville is no joke. They have certainly helped keep their team in it here tonight. Have those front four for the Tarblooders. Number of guys in there. Carmelo Williams, Jameer Johnson up there on the front. Jameer Perez as well, the Ohio State commit. Now he'll turn and give to Keontae Smith. Well, Elder Smith had a seam. It closed quickly, but not before he got himself out across the 45 for another Eagle first down. A pickup of 11 there for Keontae Smith, and him and Wendell have had a really nice night tonight in that offensive backfield for Avon. Cam Wendell, Keontae Smith, kind of that two-man rotation. Blake Elder, I think, more than content to just turn and hand the football to those two guys. Four wide receiver look here, and what now? Timeout, I think, for Avon.
Wants him to wind the clock.
No, they're gonna. I'm not sure what he's. Was that maybe up here an issue with the press box? I don't know. Mike Elder whipped around and gave a scowl to somebody after that. Not sure what exactly went on there, but nonetheless, we're back underway with the clock running. Under 6 minutes left to play here in this third quarter. Play clock down to 5. Elder gets it off, and now he fires, throws. He's got a man. Great bar out across the 50. He shoved out of bounds there by Aaron Scales of Glenville's defense. That's a pickup of about 6 there for Grant Barr. Sets up 2nd and 4 now as Avon's right back into Tarblooder territory.
And Grant Barr having a career night tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's performed well. Came into the night with 10 receptions, 130 yards. Avon's top receiver as far as the stats go, and he's adding to that total here tonight. Now a bunch look here for Avon. 3 wide receivers stacked at the top of that line of scrimmage, one by his lonesome here on the near side. Keontae Smith in the backfield with Elder. He'll go back up the middle. He'll wrestle his way out toward the 45-yard line, shy of the line to gain. He needs the 44, so that'll be 3rd and about a yard now here for Avon. 5.5 left to play in this third quarter. Eagles leading Glenville 20-6 here on this WEOL Gridiron Clash. We're live on the all-new WEOL.com, also on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Make sure you guys stay with us tomorrow morning back on the CT YouTube channel and on WEOL.com. Jared Kozar, who sits to my left here right now, and myself will have the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show, hear from some of the winning coaches across Lorain and Medina counties tonight. Here on 3rd and 1, Blake Elder takes the snap. He'll turn. He'll give to Keontae Smith. Ball is loose. Smith picks it up, tries to get his way past the first down marker, but I don't think he got there. That's an interesting spot. It's right near that 45-yard line. Again, he needs the 44. I think they spotted it just past the 45, but he doesn't have the 44.
He's going to be short. Kaylon Bailey, nice job of coming up and punching that ball out. The ball bounced perfectly right back into Keontae's hands, though.
Yeah, Keontae Smith fortunate there. Just a little loosey-goosey with his handle on the ball there. Nearly a turnover there for Avon that almost turned into a first down. And now it will be 4th down here for Avon as, what do we have, a timeout? Well, they call 4th down. There's the official signal. And now what? Avon, they're walking toward their sideline. Glenville walking to theirs. Was it a timeout?
Who knows?
They didn't signal an official. Clock is stopped, so time is out physically, but
clearly short of the first down.
Yeah, very much so. Well, not very much. I mean, it's about a half yard, but he is objectively short. And so I guess both coaches kind of treating that as a semi-timeout there with the officials discussing. Tom, I see you shaking your head over there.
Well, I thought it almost like he was going to call for a measurement, which is why I thought both teams were going back, and then they didn't. It wasn't close enough to measure.
So now the offense and defense rush back out there. Play clock down to 5. Elder under center takes the snap. He'll turn. He'll give to Keontae Smith, and he is stonewalled on the interior there. As who was that? That's number 3, Chris Newell Jr., the Buffalo commit for Glenville. Man, I'll tell you what, at 5'10", $186, you wouldn't know it with the way he stuck his nose in on that one, Tom.
You would have thought that was one of those 250-pound linemen. Boy, he came in there and put a lick on him.
Well, that's the kind of play I think it's going to take, or kind of plays I think it's going to take for Glenville to kind of get some juice and rejuvenation back into that sideline.
Needs to come out and just run the football. They got away from it in this third quarter. They've only run it a couple times. They ran a nice little option pass, but all of a sudden they feel the need of throwing every down. They ran the ball very effectively in the first half.
Well, still no Romeo Phillips in the backfield, and that's not to knock Davon McDougall, the senior running back who's back there now. But again, Romeo Phillips, he has their lone touchdown tonight. Looked nearly unstoppable on that opening drive. They really haven't gone back to him. Now McDougall right on cue. He finds a hole in that Avon defense. He wiggles his way up across the 45-yard line out near the 40 of Avon. Plenty for a first down, a pickup of about 13 there for Davon McDougall. And maybe that's the kind of life that Glenville needs in that offense right now, Tom. You've been screaming it this whole half.
And he's a big back at 215 pounds, too. He's a load.
5'11", 215, like a bowling ball back there for this Glenville Tarblooder offense. They'll go to him again. McDougall up the middle, breaks one tackle, breaks two, and he gets leveled at the 35, and I mean leveled, as that was Jackson Palmer in the secondary laying the wood. What a stick right there by that young man. But McDougall, a nice gain, though, before the hit, picks up about 6. Oh, man, that was a violent hit. We've seen a couple of those big hits here tonight on both sides of the football, but, man, a big stick there by the Avon defender. 2nd and 4 now for the Tarblooders at the Avon 35-yard line. Arvell Nelson barking out instructions, rather, at that line of scrimmage. Now he'll turn and look to the sideline for the audible. 3 wide receivers set, 2 to his left, 1 to his right, H-back out there and a tailback behind him. Nelson, a busted play there. His running back went the opposite way. Nelson just trying to make something out of nothing, and he'll just fall right across that 35-yard line. So I think he got right back to the line of scrimmage. But, again, he went to turn and give to his tailback, and he was on the other side.
He turned right, the tailback went the other way. So
we've seen that a couple of times here tonight, just some busted plays here for Glenville. Communication still has not been sharp tonight for the Tarblooders, just in terms of getting the play calls and getting the right personnel out on the field. Now a 3rd and 4 for Glenville at the Avon 35-yard line. Arvell Nelson, he'll get under center. McDougall in the backfield behind him. He'll pitch it to McDougall. McDougall looking to squeeze his way up the field, and he gets brought down shy of the 35. Maybe got right back to it, so no gain there for Glenville. Sets up 4th down now. Ball still at the Avon 35.
There's no question this is 4-down territory.
So, quarterback Arvell Nelson and the rest of the offense will stay on the field here for Glenville with 3 minutes left to play here in this third quarter. Avon leads the Tarblooders 20-6 in this Week 3 non-conference finale, and a timeout, I believe, will be called by Glenville. Yes, it is. So Glenville takes, their 2nd timeout of the half. So now Ted Ginn Sr.'s crew down to just 1 timeout. We'll keep it right here, again, with 2:57 left to play here in this third quarter. I'll tell you what, why don't we sneak in a quick timeout with 2:57 left to play here in the third. 4th and 4 coming up after this break. It's Avon 20, Glenville 6. We'll be back.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
Back at Avon, 4th and 4, the situation here for the Eagles following the timeout. For the Tarblooders, rather. The Eagles defense trying to get off the field and get the football back for their offense. And boy, it feels like a stop here for the Eagle defense and a score for their offense could really maybe put this game out of reach for Glenville. So the Tarblooders in desperation mode trying to pick up this first down. Arvell Nelson in the backfield, McDougall next to him. Nelson awaiting the snap, takes it, looking near side. He's got a man and he misses him. He had a man open. Elijah Harden was the intended target, and Nelson just not on the same page with his intended wide receiver. That is another stop for defensive coordinator Jared Cicchetti and this Eagle defense.
Boy, I'm curious. They ran into the short side of the field, too. I thought that they had the one-on-one on the top side. I thought we might be looking a little slant route up there. Didn't happen.
Well, we've seen Avon do that a lot. We saw it on the goal line here earlier in that, or in this third quarter, rather, a slant route from Blake Elder to Grant Barr as they just kind of worked the leverage that was given to them based on the defensive alignment. You were right there, Tom. I thought they might try to do similar there.
You cram three receivers into the boundary side. That doesn't give your quarterback much room to make a mistake.
And again, I mean, they had the man open. I just, again, we're not on the same page where Arvell Nelson and Elijah Harden, the sophomore wide receiver. So
I was looking top side. Was that a little rub route they tried to run down there?
Yeah, basically, yeah. He just kind of sat down in the soft spot of the defense. Maybe a miscommunication by the Eagles secondary, but it works out for Avon. They get it right back at their own 35-yard line. 2:54 left to play here in the third. Eagles are up 14. Elder on the quarterback keeper, and just not much going there. Not sure if that was a busted play or.
Nah, it was supposed to be a counter. They brought the H-back back in. They wanted to do a little wham block with him, and boy, that get blown up with some penetration by the Tarblooders.
Oh, and that actually wasn't Blake Elder. That was Trevor Maley who came in to take that snap. So we've seen that a couple of times. They'll trot Trevor Maley to kind of take these direct snaps, but nothing doing there for the senior backup quarterback. So now Blake Elder's back out there in the pistol set. Two wide receiver look here, with two tight ends stacked on the left side of that line of scrimmage. Killian Hasig, Dylan Luker, the two there. Cam Wendell in the backfield with Elder. Elder looking far sideline. He's got a man one-on-one. That's Grant Barr, and he got held up. And no flag. Wow, of all the penalties we've seen tonight.
They've been throwing the flag a whole lot. That time he visibly got held up, and they didn't throw the flag.
That's
play on.
That's number 21, Lorenzo Smith. At least I think so. He's listed as a tight end and a defensive end in my roster, and you don't see defensive ends one-on-one in coverage with Grant Barr too often, so maybe that's not Lorenzo Smith, but whoever that was survives that one against Grant Barr. Maybe got away with some contact down the field, but nonetheless, a third down and 12 now here for the Eagles at their own 33-yard line. Can the Tarblooders defense come up with a big stop? Blake Elder takes the snap. He'll turn. He'll give to Cam Wendell, and he gets met in the backfield immediately. Aaron Scales. We've called his name a couple of times here tonight, and for good reason. He's made some plays like that to really put a stop to Avon's offense, and he does so there, tripping up Wendell in the backfield, and now Avon will have to punt this football away. 4th and 12 at their own 33-yard line. Kalen Bailey getting a shout-out on that tackle as well. I think Scales, though, was the first to greet him. So now Avon, with Glenville still trying to get set here for this punt return. Avon looking to punt this one away quickly. They do so, end over end. It bounces at the 40 and kind of takes, there it is, the friendly Avon bounce. It'll roll inside the 35, down at the 32 of Glenville, and that's where the Tarblooders will start this possession. So, Tom, you got some positive yards if you're Glenville on that last time out. You had some things moving down the field. You got back to the running game, but ultimately you got stymied.
Well, the Avon defense stiffened up. I mean, it was 2nd and 3, and they stopped them 3 straight downs there. So, but they ran the ball so effectively in the first half. They kind of get away from who you are. I think sometimes they feel the need to throw the football on every down. Still a lot of football to play here with 1:28 to go in the third quarter.
What's the old coaching adage? You're getting too cute out there at times, or whatever you like to call it.
I call it Xbox football.
Look at you throwing out some video game references. Would not have pegged you for an Xbox reference here tonight.
I'm not, which is
well. Hey, it's going on the bingo card. I don't care.
It's not a complimentary term.
That is, boy, was not expecting that in the old repertoire of Tom Evans, but here we are on a Friday night in September. Who would have guessed? So, some more conversations with the officials.
Maybe another one of those discussions out there.
Yeah, getting the right football, getting a new football. I don't know. Coach Elder was talking with a couple of the officials about something right after that punt was down, so maybe it was regarding the football, or I'm not really sure. But now it's spotted at the 32 of Glenville, so the Tarblooders offense goes back to work. And look who's in the offensive backfield, Romel Phillips. I've been calling for them to go back to him all game pretty much. They used him on that first drive, not much since then. On the play action, Arvell Nelson has a man open. That ball is caught now, room to run his receiver. That's Joseph Saffold. Saffold out across the 35, trying to put on the moves and just steps out of bounds, shy of the 30. But a big pitch and catch there, a 30-plus yard gain there from Arvell Nelson to Joseph Saffold, the senior wide receiver. Had a big week 1 against Massillon and has a big catch there to get his Tarblooders into Eagle territory.
And Jacob Witherspoon put a hit on him as he caught it. He bounced right off of that and kept running.
First time we've called Jacob Witherspoon's name tonight. And that was a size mismatch there. Saffold at 6'1", $186. Certainly has the advantage there over the 6-foot Witherspoon. Arvell Nelson in the shotgun, man in motion here across the line of scrimmage. They'll fake the jet sweep. Nelson will keep it himself, looking left, turning back up the middle, and slides down for a short gain across the 30 near that 27-yard line. So a pickup of a couple there for quarterback Arvell Nelson on the keeper. Sets up second and medium now for this Glenville offense. Under a minute left to play here in this fast-moving third quarter. As ball is spotted at the 27 officially. 2nd and 6 they'll call it. As the Tarblooder offense looks to get set here. 3 wide receivers set with an H-back for quarterback Arvell Nelson. I believe that's McDougall back in the backfield behind him. Yes, it is. They'll turn and give it to him. McDougall looking for room up the middle. Not a whole lot there. Maybe got the 25. Looking for the 24. Was brought down short of that, though. He needs about the 21.5 for a first down, so it'll set up 3rd and short now here for Glenville. And now another whistle. And for what?
Send a player off. I think there's another equipment thing going on there.
Yeah, that is number 5. Thank you, Tom. Jerry Clements, the senior captain. And you're right there, Jared. Glenville does not have to run a play here with 14 seconds and counting in this third quarter. They'll break the huddle with 10 on the game clock. And I think they'll take this to the fourth quarter. Yeah, down to 5. Quarterback Arvell Nelson, I think he sees it, down to 1, and there it is. So the third quarter will come to a close. Just 1 touchdown in that third quarter. That was Cam Wendell's 5-yard touchdown plunge. The extra point from Jensen Petro made it 20-6, and that's where we stand as we head to the fourth and final quarter here at Avon. Again, our score, it is the Eagles 20, Glenville 6. We'll be right back with the fourth and final quarter here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, and Tom, where else?
At WEOL.com.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Back here at Avon, Eagles up 20-6 over the Tarblooders of Glenville here in Week 3 non-conference finale action. Avon came into this contest 1-1. They got the season-opening win here at home against St. Ignatius. We were on hand for that one. Well, at least you 3 guys were, I should say. 40-14 was the final there as Avon cruised to a 26-point victory. They followed that up with a Week 2 loss down at Spruce Creek. If you're asking, where's that, Rocco? I'll tell you, it's in Florida, right? Near Daytona Beach, Coach Mike Elder was telling me. So Spruce Creek upended Avon 25-22, snapped a 17-game winning streak that the Eagles had possessed. And Glenville comes into this one 2-0 with wins over Massillon and Olentangy Liberty. So both teams looking to close out their non-conference schedule in good fashion, but Avon having the fun right now, up 14. Here we go on 3rd and 3. Arvell Nelson faked the handoff, rolling to his left, fires, and incomplete. We kind of lost the play there amongst the big Avon Eagles sideline. He was looking for Paulie Sadler, was Arvell Nelson. That one fell incomplete, so now it'll be 4th and 4 for Glenville. Ball at the Avon 24-yard line. 4th and 3, I should say.
They try to get Arvell out on the outside for a little run-pass option. I think Arvell would have done better just to tuck that and run. I think he would have picked up the first down, plus a few. He had gotten the corner on that.
Well, it was tough, too, because he's throwing against his body. Nelson, a right-handed quarterback. He was rolling to his left, so he was throwing against the grain there, so to speak, to try to find Paulie Sadler, but couldn't do so. Here we go, Nelson, another RPO. He's going to keep it himself. Nelson, room to run. He's got blocking. He's got grass. Nelson out of bounds across the 10, but he's got a first down for Glenville. That is a huge 4th down pickup. He got to the 8, so a gain of 16 for Arvell Nelson on the keeper. That's a gutsy play there by Arvell
And that's
Nelson.
great vision by Arvell Nelson. He had his eyes up the whole time. He knew exactly what he saw in front of him. Pulled that ball out, did a nice job of getting to the outside.
Yeah, I mean, to run the ball on 4th and 3 with the way Avon has defended the run at certain points here tonight, that certainly takes some goal right there for Arvell Nelson, and he had it to pick that 3-yard gain up. He got 16, and that's 1st and goal now for Glenville. Ball spotted right at the 10. Arvell Nelson in the pistol. He'll take it. He'll turn. He'll give to his tailback, looking for the sideline. He stays in bounds, gets a couple of extra yards. Flag comes in late. That was Jamal Goodson who carried the rock. First time we've called his name tonight, the sophomore tailback. 5'5", $190. But another flag near that line of scrimmage, and the hands on the hips and the march backwards for the Glenville offense follows, which would mean a holding call against the Tarblooders, and that looks to be what the call is. Still no official ruling yet, though.
Couple updates on scores. Sandusky up 25-7 on the Lorraine Titans late in the third quarter. Final from Avon Lake, Highland 34, Avon Lake 7, and Midview all over Elyria Catholic late in that game, 41-7.
Wow. Did not expect quite the separation in either of those games. I think I took Highland and Midview in the picket line in both of those, but certainly was not expecting, the routes that those turned into. So thank you, Tom, for keeping us posted on those. And a whistle here before the snap, or right as that ball was snapped. And, man, Tom, I've got the same look you do on some of these whistles. You just don't really know what it's for or why exactly there is a whistle. Maybe more equipment issues. You got a couple of Tarblooders out standing near the Glenville coaching staff on their far sideline, but, yeah, not sure. Nonetheless, 1st and goal now here for Glenville at the Avon 18-yard line. Nelson back to pass, looking across the middle, had a man, but overshot him. Ball was a bit behind his intended receiver as well. That was Joseph Saffold he was looking for in coverage. That was Jarrell Fenton for the Avon defense.
And the umpire was signaling that ball was tipped.
Okay. So that ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. Certainly did redirect things there. So Saffold could have been looking at 6 for Glenville, a much-needed 6 that the Tarblooders are looking for here, down 2 scores at the start of this 4th quarter. 2nd and goal now for Glenville at the 18. 3 wide receiver set, an H-back and a tailback. Nelson will fake it to his tailback. Under pressure, Nelson looking to get out of it. Escapes pressure, still looking, still rolling around. He'll reverse field, looking to the left side. Now he's going to keep it and run. Nelson with the blocker in front of him. Nelson finally trips over his own feet inside the 10 near that 5-yard line. And Arvell Nelson, a nice run there on a play that was just blown up in the backfield. Credit the Avon defensive front there, but Nelson, I'll tell you what, man, he's making lemons out of lemonade right now.
Credit Arvell Nelson with some great moves in the back there to shake free of those 2 Avon defenders.
Lemonade out of lemons, I should say. But, yeah, Arvell Nelson doing it all right now. 3rd and goal now for the Tarblooders at the Avon 5. Davon McDougall, in the backfield with quarterback Arvell Nelson. Elijah Harden in that H-back spot where he's been most of the night. 2 receivers to Nelson's left, 1 out far right. Nelson in the shotgun, awaits the snap. He'll give it to McDougall. McDougall looking for the end zone. He gets by Lance Dawson, and he tumbles into the end zone for a touchdown, Glenville. So the Tarblooders get much-needed points there on that drive. Devon McDougall finding pay dirt from 5 yards out. Lance Dawson had a shot at him here on the near side, Tom, but Lance unable to get there. McDougall with the speed to turn that corner, and Glenville gets 6 more.
And they got to believe they'll leave the offense on and go for 2 here.
As I don't think they want to have any more adventures with the special teams unit, and you're only down 1 score either way. So if you get the 2, that certainly puts you in a better position the rest of the way. So we'll put that in the scorebook there. McDougall finding the end zone. An impressive run there. Good blocking by the left side of that offensive line. Just held up that Avon defense enough to get McDougall around the corner and into the end zone. 2-point conversion here. Nelson firing. He's got his man into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is good. He found Joseph Saffold on the slant, and a flag comes out after the play. Probably a taunting penalty or something if I had to guess.
Saffold got up and did the ball spin in the end zone right in front of the umpire, so they're going to call unsportsmanlike conduct on him, move him back 15 yards on the kickoff.
So that's one of those points of emphasis. I mean, yeah, you really can't do anything with the football after you score outside of just tossing it to the official. There can't be any spinning or spiking or any of that. So Saffold gets hit with the 15 yards after the 2-point conversion, but Glenville will take the 2 points. So our score with 10:43 left to go in the game, it's Avon 20, Glenville 14. We'll be back on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, and Tom, we're online.
At WEOL.com.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
So after the Devon McDougall 5-yard touchdown run, just like that, Tom, it's a 6-point game, and Glenville feeling a little bit better about themselves now, but still a lot of ball game left.
Yeah, and overcame some mistakes even in that drive to get the touchdown. So, we got a ball game with 10:43 to go here. Lots of time, 20-14. The Eagles should come away with some good field position, but Mike Elder would like nothing better than a real nice drive with some points on the end of it right now.
Yeah, Joseph Saffold caught the 2-point conversion, but spun the ball, spiked the ball in the end zone, whatever he did, it earned 15 yards for Avon, so Glenville has to kick this one off from their own 25-yard line. End-over-end kick is fielded by Avon at their own 20. Return man with some room up across the 30, 35, still breaking tackles, and finally wrestled down out near that 48-yard line was number 14, Caden Clapham. He's had a nice night in a couple of different respects here tonight. And now what, a little extracurricular activity here after that ball was downed. And everybody clears out of there. Cooler heads will prevail. So now Avon will start this possession right near that 40-yard line. We'll see where they officially marked forward progress at. And it should be, again, right near that 40. And I think you're absolutely right, Tom. Head coach Mike Elder, I think he'd like a nice, long, sustained touchdown scoring drive here. Take some time off the clock, put some points on the board, and really apply some pressure to Glenville. But if you're the Tarblooders right now, again, you got to be feeling good about where you're at in this ball game. You're one defensive stop away from really swinging the momentum back to your side. Blake Elder breaks the huddle here in the shotgun look. 3 wide receivers, man in motion here behind him. And he'll turn and give to Cam Wendell, and he gets met and wrapped up immediately in the backfield. That's big number 11, Cartez Yancey. We called his name early. We'll call it again there. Cartez Yancey, 6'1", 228-pound senior, made Cam Wendell feel all of that on that play, a loss of a couple.
Just too slow developing. He just came hard off the corner and went right to the running back for the 3-yard loss there.
And we saw Sammy Ullery in kind of that orbit motion across the line of scrimmage there behind the quarterback, and I think they just kind of looked to follow him that way, but you're right, Tom, a little too slow to develop, and Yancey greeted the tailback early. Little comeback route here. Grant Barr, it was tipped and then caught. Oh, my goodness. Aaron Scales got 2 hands on it, couldn't make the catch. It bounced off of him and then landed into the hands of Grant Barr, who made a tremendous grab out across the 45-yard line, and, man, disaster turned into positive yards there for the Avon offense. Holy smokes.
Final from over at North Royalton. North Ridgeville a winner 16-6.
That game, I think, ended closer than what some of us may have thought. Brian Morgan and crew get another win. Shout out to the Rangers.
Head into conference play at 3-0.
Man, he just continues to build that program up over there, doesn't he?
And did I read the schedule right? Is it the Eagles and Rangers next week?
It is. It is. Final time we'll have Avon on in this regular season until they match up with Avon Lake. Another ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and this one lands incomplete. So Blake Elder, man, back-to-back plays. He's fortunate that didn't lead to a turnover the first time. Landed into the arms of Grant Barr. That one landed harmlessly to the turf, and here they come on that far sideline, Tom. Those Glenville fans coming to life here in this fourth quarter. They sense it right now. And oh no, Glenville, they might have had 12 on the field. There's the flag. The back official saw it right here. The return here from Glenville is not going to matter. It was fielded at their own 15-yard line, but I think Glenville was running somebody off the field late, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, they got the quick snap, too.
So Avon, boy, the special teams unit earning their guys a first down by kind of, I guess you could call it inducing a 12-man on the field penalty there, Tom.
Went with a quick snap on it. They knew what they were doing with it.
And that's why you see coaches time and time again, you got to be ready on that sideline, right? If it's third down, you got to anticipate your defense getting a stop, and you got to race out there if you're on that punt return team. So Glenville just as they're hooping and hollering coming off the field, they're thinking they're getting the football back. You just gifted Avon a free first down. Or at least it should be, yeah.
Yep.
That'll be a first down. It was 4th and 5. A 5-yard penalty there against the Glenville special teams unit. And that's just got to be infuriating over there on that far sideline. Man, 12 men on the field. I couldn't tell who it was. It was a young man out near that far sideline. He was sprinting to get off the field. He kind of stopped and turned and looked and threw his hands up before he got off the field, and eventually did, but not before the ball was snapped. And so the 12 men on the field penalty, again, gifts Avon another first down, and the Eagles just snatched some of that momentum right back.
Yeah, just kind of stole the first down away from the on that series here, but they got to get something going offensively with 9:02 to go.
Right.
Still plenty of time for the Tarblooders.
Well, if you're Blake Elder, you got to be careful with some of these throws. I mean, that's 2 could have been interceptions that he's had this drive.
It looked like he dropped down and threw that one a little bit sidearm for some reason.
Maybe feeling it in that shoulder. Who knows? Little flea flicker here. Keontae Smith back to Elder, looking deep down the field. He's got a man open, and it's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver.
Wow.
That was Ullery, who he was looking for. And he did get a step behind that Glenville secondary. The Tarblooder defense did well to try to get back as well as they could on it, but man, nearly a big hitter there for the Avon offense. Wow.
And Grant Barr was wide open on a long crossing route too. I was kind of watching Grant Barr come open. Nobody went with him, but either way, that's a missed opportunity for the Eagles right there.
And the Avon coaching staff is irate about something. They're barking at the officials here on the bottom side of your screen. And
that's not too unusual.
No, well, and now another congregation for another meeting of the Stripes here out near midfield. I'm really not sure I don't know if Elder took a late hit or what it was. I mean, as soon as he let that football go, my eyes raced downfield to try to track where it was going. So I'm not sure what happened after the throw. Evidently not enough to draw a penalty. Mike Elder still giving it to the officials here on this near sideline, but an incomplete pass nonetheless sets up 2nd and 10 now for the Avon offense. 8:54 left to go here in this 4th quarter. 4 wide receiver set here for Blake Elder. He'll take the snap. He'll turn. He'll look. He'll pump fake. Now he'll scramble away from pressure. Elder looking to get rid of it. Does so and throws it out of bounds into that Glenville sideline. As applying pressure there was Tyler Murphy on that defensive line. Big number 30 for Glenville. First time we've called his name tonight. He was screaming at the official thinking he got held by one of those big Avon offensive linemen. I think it was Max Hawk that he was trying to plead his case against, but he'll lose out on that one. But
Glenville saying thank you for the 2 incomplete passes that were at 8:47.
Yeah.
Olmsted Falls and Strongsville going overtime, tied at 21.
Boy, that's setting up to be a good one over there. Did not anticipate that playing out as it has tonight. So a good one between the Bulldogs and the Mustangs there. 3rd and 10 here for Avon, ball right at midfield. Blake Elder takes the shotgun snap. He'll drop back. He'll fire. He'll throw. He's got a man open near the 40. That ball is caught by number 14, Caden Clapham. But where's the spot? Did he get the 41? Yes, he did. It is an Avon first down. All right. So chest past that 40-yard line. That's what he needed was the 40. He didn't quite get the 41, but he got the 40 and change. And so that's an Eagle first down. And boy, if you're the Tarblooder defense, you got to just be sick right now. You got off the field, right, on the 4th down. You drew the punt. A 12-man on the field penalty gives Avon a first down, and then you give up 3rd and 10. So now first down for Avon at the 40. It'll be Cam Wendell on the carry. Wendell out across that line of scrimmage, and now another late flag gets thrown here by the back judge. And what'll this be? Unsportsmanlike against Glenville.
Foul.
Oh, man. So late hit, personal foul, something unsportsmanlike there against Glenville. And that's 15 more yards against the Tarblooders, 15 more yards for the Eagles.
The referee was about 14 yards away from that and launched his flag.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he just saw somebody dive onto the pile late or what exactly he saw. It's kind of hard to see amongst the scrums sometimes, but 15 more yards for Avon. Marches this football up to where now? They're inside the 25, the 24-yard line of Glenville. So just like that, Avon nearly in the red zone now. Fresh set of downs here for Blake Elder in his offense. He awaits the shotgun snap, man in motion. That's Dylan Luker, the big tight end, has 1 touchdown catch tonight. Now he'll go back in motion to his original spot.
He wasn't set.
Oh, I don't think that'll draw the flag, though, as that turn and give goes to Finn Jordanic. As Jordanic on that quasi-jet sweep got about 3 out near the 21-yard line. So 2nd and 7. Was that Luker you were saying wasn't set on that play?
Yeah, well,
there, Tom?
he's got to be set for a second before the other guy goes in motion. So I don't think he ever really came set before the guy went in motion. That's right out in the open, too.
So Avon maybe catching some breaks here offensively this drive. 2nd and 7 here for the Eagle offense at the Glenville 21-yard line. 7.5 left to play here in this 4th quarter. Elder awaits the shotgun snap. He'll get it. He'll turn. He'll fire far sideline. Dangerous throw in and out of the hands of his receiver, Jordanic, as there was a Tarblooder in coverage. That was, I believe, number 2, Jalen Edwards, the sophomore, in coverage out there on that far sideline. So now it'll be 3rd and 7 for Avon. Ball spotted at the Glenville 21-yard line. So now another crucial 3rd down for Glenville here, Tom. Can this defense finally just get off the field?
Well, I think we're in 4-down territory for the Eagles.
I think so. Yeah, do you trust Jensen Petro to try to pooch one in from 38 yards out? I don't know if you're head coach Mike Elder. May not matter, though. Blake Elder here on a 3rd and 7. Awaits the shotgun snap. He takes it. He's looking, still looking. Fires, and it's caught! Caught on the far sideline. Touchdown, Avon!
Wow.
Finn Jordanic into the end zone, and I don't know how he caught that football.
I just thought Elder threw it way too late. I thought that was going to be a pick the way I saw him break on it. Boy, great job by Jordanic.
Yeah, the cornerback there, I think that was Jalen Edwards, the sophomore they were picking on again. I mean, he basically ran that route for Jordanic.
Yeah.
Elder saw him late, threw it anyway, and Jordanic somehow ends up with that football in his hands, tight ropes the sideline, and that's 6 more points for Avon, 26-14 with 7:19 left to go in this game, and that could be a backbreaker there for Glenville. Wow.
And the Eagles going to go for 2 here to try and make it a 14-point game.
Probably the right decision there for head coach Mike Elder. Well, far be it for me to criticize any of his decision-making, that's for sure.
They'll go from the left hash here on for the 2-point conversion.
So Blake Elder in the shotgun here. Cam Wendell in the backfield with him. 4 wide receiver set. I'm sorry. 3 to his right, 1 to his left. And what here? Another equipment issue here for Glenville, I think. Yeah, that is Chris Newell, the Buffalo commit. He'll have to jog off. And Glenville will have to get another Tarblooder out there on the field in place of him. I mean, it's about as tight as I've seen the officials have it with equipment issues here tonight, no question. So a 21-yard catch from Blake Elder to Finn Jordanic makes this 26-14, and now again the Eagles will go for 2. With 7:19 left to go in this ball game. Man in motion here. Grant Barr across the line of scrimmage. He'll go back where he came from. Elder takes the snap. Looking right side. Looking for Barr. Back of the end zone. Caught for a 2-point conversion. So Avon makes the lead 14 again. And with just over 7 minutes left to play in this ball game, our score, Avon 28, Glenville 14. We'll be back here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, and Tom, are online elsewhere.
At WEOL.com.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
So really, a back-breaking defensive drive there for Glenville, Tom. They're on, 3 or 4 separate occasions, you could probably argue they should have either just been off the field or forced a turnover.
And like I said, I'm looking at that the touchdown, and the angle I'm looking at, when I see him throw the ball and I watch the Glenville defender break on, I'm thinking, that's a pick 6. That's going to be a 90-yard pick 6.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Jordanic came up with it.
Well, he did, and the 2-point conversion to Grant Barr was good. We got a new game, 28-14. Now Glenville here on this ensuing kickoff, looking for something big on this return was Gary Pritchett. He works his way out across the 45, finally down to his own 46-yard line. So Glenville will start this offensive possession here. And, well, Tom, I mean, they got to go in a hurry here with under 8 minutes left to play in this ball game. They need 2 scores.
And now they're into the throw on every down mode, which actually helps Avon here a little bit.
Yeah, Avon can kind of just sort of sit back in coverage, and those big guys up front can really just pin their ears back and get after Arvell Nelson as they've done all night.
I think what you want to do is you want to keep Nelson in the pocket. You don't want him to turn loose here because he'll break off some 20, 25-yarders on you, especially if you're in man coverage downfield. Now, Avon's done a good job of mixing coverages up tonight. We've seen the interception when they were in some zone, and the ball's getting marched back here again.
Well, did I miss a holding call there? I guess I did. I should have known. I should have known. So instead of the 45, or the 46 rather, Glenville starts this drive at their own 36. 7:12 left to play in this ball game. Avon leading the Tarblooders 28-14. Arvell Nelson takes the shotgun snap. He's under pressure, still under pressure, rolling to his right, looking downfield, nothing doing, just finally floats this one to safety into his own sideline as he had a couple of Eagles in hot pursuit. As that was, number 61, Derek Weitzel giving chase. Derek Weitzel, the sophomore defensive lineman, giving chase there to Arvell Nelson.
And Avon with the 6-man front at the snap of the football, dropping 2 guys out of that, really giving Glenville a lot of different looks, making it tough for Arvell Nelson to see what the coverage is going to be.
Well, they, in the 2 deep that I get from head coach Mike Elder, he kind of has 4 linebackers. 2 are of that true linebacker elk, and then he has the jack and the star position that he floats out there, kind of some hybrid positions that he can get kind of creative with.
It's kind of strong safety, outside linebacker. Kind of look, the guys that are big enough to even step up on line of scrimmage and give you a rush from the outside as well, too.
It's like you're either a little too big or a little too small to fit into one of those truly, so it's kind of that hybrid position. Nelson looking across the middle. He's got a man open, and that is Gary Pritchett on the reception. He is down right near that 44-yard line of Glenville, so a pickup of 8 there for Gary Pritchett off the arm of Arvell Nelson.
Nice quick release by Nelson.
Yeah. Haven't seen too many successful quick hitters like that for Glenville here tonight. They've just not really been on the same page, Nelson and his receivers. 4 wide receiver set here. Romel Phillips in the backfield with quarterback Arvell Nelson. He'll change the play here at the line of scrimmage. Again, trips on the top side of your screen. Nelson, he'll drop back. He was looking near side. Now has to escape pressure to the right. Nelson looking downfield, floats this one up. He's got a man open. That ball's caught. Joseph Saffold's got it at the 35, looking to make people miss, and he gets wrestled down out across the 30-yard line. They'll give him the 29. So a nice pickup there for Joseph Saffold from Arvell Nelson, a pickup of about 30 there, and a first down for Glenville. Tarblooders are on the move.
It's a tough thing to do, but you almost want Avon's defensive line to, as they start to rush the quarterback, just stop and keep him in front of you. They're running past him, and that allows Nelson to create some lanes up, let his legs open some lanes up for him.
Yeah, almost just want to go into that contain look and not shoot past him. And what, a timeout here for Glenville, I think, calling a timeout.
Final from Grafton, the Midview Middies 41, Elyria Catholic Panthers 20. That's a final.
Oh, man, Mike Elder. He's barking up here at the press box. Yeah. A lot of miscommunication in all facets here at Avon tonight, I think. Hey, we had issues with our own camera here at the start of the broadcast, so we aren't perfect, but we also don't have Mike Elder yelling at us because of it, so
yeah.
I'll take that. I don't want that on my resume, I'll tell you that much. 1st and 10 here for Glenville at the Avon 29-yard line. Avon sends the blitz. Nelson in trouble. He's floated out of there. It's going to be grounding.
It's got to be grounding.
Yeah, he didn't get out of the tackle box, did Arvell Nelson. As Avon, kind of a surprise blitz there. They stacked the box. Like you said, Tom, they've been dropping guys out of it. They just sent the house there.
They called holding on him. I don't think he called grounding on him.
Oh, did he call holding? Well, either way, back to Tarblooders up.
Well, grounding's a loss of down.
Right. So
I think Avon would much rather have a grounding call.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like they're calling holding.
Yeah.
And I think, that's what head coach Mike Elder's probably asking about. Here at the bottom side of your screen. Asking about, hey, is that...
It's the 3rd time the referee signaled holding. I think Mike's saying, you mean it's not this?
Well, if you do it enough, maybe you can...
That slashing motion he wants.
It's not Halloween yet, all right? We don't need to bust out the slashing motion just yet. So it is going to be holding against Glenville. 1st and 20 now for the Tarblooders at the Avon 39-yard line. Nelson back to pass. Little screenplay here.
Oh.
Romel Phillips has it, and he works his way out across the 35, shy of the 30. A couple of different Eagles in on the stop there. Ryan Stolarski, one of the first to greet him. Called his name a lot here tonight, so a decent pickup there for Glenville, albeit on 1st and 20. I think he got about 6 or 7, did Romel Phillips, on that screen catch.
Keeps the clock running.
Yes, it does. 5:15. Well, I mean, you see why head coach Mike Elder was yelling to keep that clock running. He wants this final 5 minutes and change to expire, and in a hurry. Nelson takes the shotgun snap, avoids pressure, still dancing out of the pocket, finally fires downfield. He's got a man open and tight-roping the sideline, and making the catch is his intended receiver, Paulie Sadler.
The referee, okay, he's come down to mark it. Oh, now he says it's a kid. I wish we'd see a signal out of the official.
Yeah, I can't really use the "it's week 1 for all of us" excuse anymore here in week 3, but it is a catch for Paulie Sadler, and it will be a first down for the Glenville offense. A big pickup there. Arvell Nelson, a nice ball down the near sideline here to the future Bowling Green Falcon. There you go, Jared. Paulie Sadler. Pickup of about 20 there.
But the ball goes out of bounds, and the clock's still running, so.
Down to 4:40 left to go now in the contest. Arvell Nelson in that pistol set. Man in motion, that's the H-back Harden. He'll turn, he'll give to his tailback, and he'll muscle his way back up the gut there. Jamal Goodson, the sophomore, on the carry, picking up a couple. That'll set up 2nd and goal now for Glenville. And, oh boy, what do you know? Another late flag gets thrown. I would assume some extracurricular activities, the cause of that one. And let's see who that one goes against. I didn't really see anybody, pushing and shoving after the whistle, so maybe something was said verbally near one of the officials. Who's to say, really?
Walking it off against the Avon.
So that would give...
Waiting for a signal from the referee.
Right. It's been a reoccurring theme. So it is unsportsmanlike conduct against Avon, as we hear on the PA. With 4:19 left to go in the contest. And now they'll whistle the clock to roll, will the officials. And that should be... still 2nd and goal here for Glenville. Ball inside the 5 now, spotted at about the 3.5, 4-yard line. Arvell Nelson in the shotgun, and another whistle and a timeout called by Avon. So Avon will take a timeout. That is their first taken here of this second half. So why don't we step aside, take a quick breather ourselves. Our score with 3:59 left to play in this 4th quarter. It's Avon 28, Glenville 14. We'll be right back here at Avon after this timeout.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me, when your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Back here at Avon, 28-14 our score. Eagles leading with 3:59 left to play. In time, I'll just peel back the curtain a little bit here. We just got a follow to the WEOL Twitter account from the official account of the Ohio State men's rugby team. You have anything to do with that over there? Are you pulling some strings, some levers? What's going on there?
That's a connection. It's good. Well, they heard you misuse the term scrum earlier.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah,
technically, that was a loose ruck. It was not a scrum.
Okay, well, they're on my case for that one, huh?
Yep.
Got to brush up on my rugby lingo, I guess, prior to my next broadcast with you, my friend. Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what, this one's gone better than the last time we were saddled up for a football game alongside each other, although I guess I'll shut my trap on that front with still 4 minutes left to go in this ball game. Still waiting to resume action here after the timeout. You say after the timeout thinking you're getting right back to the action, but I guess that's not.
We get a final from Strongsville. Olmsted Falls, the winner, 24-21 in overtime.
Wow. Falls a winner, you said?
Yes.
Wow. Big time win for Tommy DeLuca and his Bulldogs. Good for him. So here we go. Arvell Nelson in the shotgun on a 2nd and goal situation. He'll turn. He'll give to McDougall, and he gets tripped up in the backfield.
Great job by Stolarski.
Yeah, man. Ryan Stolarski having himself a dynamite ball game defensively here tonight. Touchdown saving tackle prevented Devon McDougall from getting into the end zone. That's a 5'11", 215-pound man you got to try to bring down there, and Stolarski did well to trip him up. So 3rd and goal now here for Glenville inside the Avon 5. Ball marked at the 3. Glenville's got to punch this one in and in a hurry if they want a shot at this ball game still. Nelson takes the shotgun snap. He's going to keep it himself up the middle. Nelson looking for the end zone, and he's short. He is marked down right at the 1. And now it'll be 4th and goal here for the Tarblooders. What do you got? Ted Ginn Sr. here with the ball game on the line.
I think you got to get Nelson out on the edge.
Yeah, Nelson tried to work his way inside the tackles there. Avon getting some fresh bodies out there on the defensive front as this home sideline comes to life. Vinny DiTilio, Ian Engelhart trot on for the Avon defense. Can they come up with a big stop? Nelson, it's a high snap. Nelson looking for the end zone. He's not going to get there. Avon stands strong. It's Eagles football. Time and time and time again, this Avon Eagle defense, when called upon, Tom, they find a way to deliver, and they do it one more time here tonight, and that may be enough to get Mike Elder and his crew a win here in Week 3.
And that high snap was enough to throw the timing off on that program, on that play. Great penetration by the Avon defense.
A monster stand there for the Avon Eagles. Defensive coordinator Jared Cicchetti, he's fired up, as he should be. I mean, his guys, granted, Glenville has had a couple of, self-inflicted wounds here tonight with the penalties. But, man, this Avon defense, they've been battle-tested so far through these first 3 weeks, and they come up with a huge stop there, one that might send them to the SWC Gauntlet with a 2-1 record.
Glenville with only 1 timeout left.
Yeah, so Glenville more than on the ropes right now, in a heap of trouble with, like you said, Tom, just 1 timeout, 2:50 left on that 4th quarter clock. Although, if you're Avon, ball spotted at the 3 here, you got to be careful and execute your snaps here. Glenville looking to bring some pressure up the middle. They'll do so, but that's a nice gain there on the ground. Keontae Smith gets his team some breathing room there out near that 10-yard line. About the 7 or 8 is where he ended up at. So a decent pickup there for Keontae Smith. Give him a gain of about 4.
The report we're getting from Strongsville is that Olmsted Falls blocked a field goal in overtime, then won it on a field goal themselves.
Wow. Some high drama over there between
Barn
the
burner
Bulldogs
over
and
at
the Mustangs.
Packatan Field.
Man, tell you what, man, that's a nice spot to take in a ball game. I had Strongsville and Avon Lake a couple of years ago over there, and that was a good one. So 2:10 left to go here in this ball game. 4th quarter clock continues to roll. 2nd and 5 here for Avon. Elder will turn. He'll give to Keontae Smith, and he'll get stood up right at that line of scrimmage. Well, maybe got out to the 10. Short gain there for Keontae Smith. Give him about 2. Sets up 3rd and 3 now for the Avon offense. And really, Tom, you're 1 first down away from ending this ball game. You just need 4 yards.
First down right here is going to seal it for you.
So Glenville, do they have another stand in them to just try to make something happen here with less than 1:40 to go, or will tonight belong to Mike Elder and the Avon Eagles, as it has in this matchup 3 out of the 4 times that they've met in the last couple of years? Glenville's 1 win in this matchup came in 2022. They beat Avon 27-21, and it's been all Eagles outside of that, and he won't get there. Will the tailback Keontae Smith? He gets stood up right at that line of scrimmage, so it is 4th down now here for Avon. And Glenville, yeah, Jared, they're not taking the timeout, or do they get it now? Now they get it in. Glenville will burn that 3rd and final timeout with just over a minute left to go in this ballgame, 1:09 to be exact. It's 4th down and 3 for Avon. Ball spotted at their own 10-yard line. So really, just pump this ball away, get a good clean snap to your punter, let him boot it as deep as he can, and just trust your defense to try to run out this final, 70 seconds of the ball game. And why not? I mean, the defense has done a lot here tonight. You credit the Avon offense as well, right? I mean, they've made plays.
But the Avon, you're 100% correct. The Avon defense has made the stops and they've needed to. And Glenville's been their own worst enemy in some situations, but that goal line stand was a thing of beauty right there.
Well, there's been, I mean, even outside of the penalties, because I hate to say, they caught some breaks because of the penalties, this or that. But even that touchdown catch to Jordanic, right? I mean, I think the four of us out there, in disbelief that pass was caught, let alone ran in for a touchdown afterwards. I mean, unbelievable.
I thought it was going to be caught. I thought it was going to be caught going the other way.
Yeah, I think that was Jalen Edwards, the sophomore defensive back. They had picked on him a couple of times that drive, and he just wasn't able to get his hands to that football. Jordanic did. And I mean, the concentration that it takes to maintain a catch like that, tightrope the sideline, stay in bounds, and then motor your way into the end zone afterwards. Just incredibly impressive play there by Finn Jordanic, and he's had a really nice night altogether, as has the entire Avon receiving crew.
They bring the offense back on. He's going to use that pooch punt that we saw him use.
Well, one would assume, right?
No?
Blake Elder. Well, I don't think you want to take the delay of game and back yourself up any further. So, but they got, well, the play clock's not rolling. They got 25 on the play clock still. And what now? Another whistle, a timeout called by Avon. And I think, head coach Mike Elder, I think he's pointing at the play clock. I think he's a little irritated at some of the communication issues that have transpired here tonight.
Yeah, they were just trying to see if they could get Glenville a jump because knew that they'd be coming after the punt.
So Avon will burn their second timeout. They're down to 1, but they're not the ones who need it right now. It's Glenville, and they're out of timeouts with, again, less than 70 seconds left in this ball game. Can remind you that Jared and I will be back at the lovely studios at the Chronicle Telegram, the friendly confines of downtown Elyria. Tom, you got quit laughing at me while I'm trying to say this.
Hey, you're going to wind up there too.
Yeah. See, you'll be welcomed into the confines. How about that? Call it the compound when we're done. Yeah, 9 to 11 tomorrow morning. Jared and I will effort another Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. We'll hear from some of our winning coaches across the area tonight. I'm sure Mike Elder will love to be a part of that. He hasn't been on the wrap-up show yet this season. We didn't have any coaches on week 1 following his win over St. Ignatius. Didn't have him on last week, obviously, as he was traveling back after a loss down in Florida. But his Eagles are back in the win column, or so it seems that'll be the case tonight. With about 70 seconds left to go, his guys up by 14. Glenville out of timeouts. So we'll talk to Coach Elder and hear from some of our other winning coaches as well. Maybe get some thoughts from Tommy DeLuca in that thriller over there at Strongsville. His Bulldogs pulled out a big win. I'll have to send him a text once we depart Avon here tonight. So Avon here, the snap goes to their punter, and he's going to run out of the back of the end zone for a safety.
I wonder if that wasn't what they were going to do. Yep.
So that was Trevor Sikora, who took that snap and just ran out of the back of the end zone. So that's 2 points for Glenville. That'll make it 28-16. And now Avon will have to punt this football away. So I guess the prevailing thought there is you don't want anything blocked. You fall on it for a touchdown, and now Glenville has a chance for an onside kick. I guess if you do it this way, it's still a 2-possession game, and you can relatively safely trot your defense back out there, although you got to cover this punt on the ensuing safety kickoff.
Well, at some point in time, even if they score, they got to kick it to you and then recover an onside kick, which is a tall task.
So, again, far be it from me to ever criticize any of the decisions from longtime Avon head coach Mike Elder, a state championship winning coach.
They called an illegal block on.
Or are they pointing to? Oh, so it is either way. I mean, still a safety. We saw that in the NFL a number of years ago. I think the Ravens did that, where they just kind of ran out the clock and they just held like no tomorrow as their punter did that exact thing, and they just committed about 50 holding penalties on one play because it didn't matter. The clock had run out. Obviously, there's still time here, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's just still a safety. We'll never know, right? I mean, that's I've given up on that front, I think, tonight, Tom. But
yeah.
So I think they'll have to just punt it from further back, maybe, is what happens there as a result. So, yeah, one of those penalty gets applied to the ensuing kickoff, or the punt off, I guess you could call it here, following the safety. And 28-16, our score. Avon still up 12. 62 seconds left to go in this ball game. Avon still with one timeout. Glenville is out of timeouts, though, so they need nothing short of a miracle to try to come back in this one. Most of the Tarblooder faithful have headed for the exits on that far sideline.
Referee out here talking again.
I mean,
come on, guys.
Like, what are we We got our dinner plan squared away well ahead of time.
Again,
I won't be a part of it, but I knew the plan at the very least.
Now he's making his way over to talk to Ted Ginn, let him know what's going on.
Man, oh, man. And I try not to hound them too much because I know the OHSAA, they're looking for officials. It's a tough job. You get yelled at by both coaches, fans, everybody. I get it, but, man.
And we've seen it throughout. It's just not a good look. And, I mean, there's no flow to the play. And certainly both teams have something to do with that. But
yeah, it just takes away from the atmosphere, I think, in the whole environment. It hasn't been too bad tonight. I'll try not to pick again too much on the officials, but yeah, just moments like these where it's like, man, you got 62 seconds. The result pretty much all but done. So, but
the Avon fans feel much the same way we do.
Yeah, you can hear some chirping behind or below us, I guess I should say. Pelt amongst the sea of purple down there. Gary Pelter, cameraman extraordinaire, has handled that duty tremendously through the first couple of weeks here. So big shout out to Pelt. Hasn't had to go full Peltomania yet, although thought we might be flirting with danger at certain junctures tonight. Had some agua that was punted down the bleachers here that belonged to one Gary Pelter, so that was certainly danger zone, but we persevered. We got through that. So now we're finally set, and okay, so I guess I don't see high school safeties too much. It's not, you don't punt it, you still kick it.
You can do whatever, you can do it either.
So Jensen Petro will squib this one, and it is fielded by Glenville at their own 35-yard line. Return man out across the 50, and he is wrestled down shy of the Avon 45, as that was Gary Pritchett on the return there for Glenville. And so, again, the Tarblooders need a miracle. They're down 12 with 57 seconds left to go, and they are out of timeouts. So Avon just one defensive stop away from securing a victory, moving to 2-1. Up next for Avon, they will be, almost had their schedule. They are on the road at North Ridgeville. That's our Stream 2 game, I believe, next week over on WEOL.com.
Mr. Zerch, a former Ohio State rugby player, listening in. I love the rugby shout-out.
There it is. He probably has something to do with the official account giving us the follow. Screen pass here, to Romel Phillips is blown up in the backfield by Avon. They were all over it, not fooled whatsoever. So that clock will continue to roll. Second and long now here for Glenville, as the Tarblooders are running out of time in a hurry. Glenville next week, they are on the road at St. Edwards, so it does not get any easier for Ted Ginn Sr. and his Glenville Tarblooders. Back to pass here, Arvell Nelson rolling out strong side, dropping back some more. Now he'll fire and launch one high toward the 10-yard line, and that ball is batted down by the Avon defense. A couple of guys back there in coverage. And one of the Tarblooders a little slow to get up after that one, as that was Witherspoon and some others back in coverage. Also saw Jarrell Fenton back there, as I think that was Anir Lemon they were looking for, was the Glenville offense. But again, incomplete. Third and long now, 3rd and 13 for Glenville. Ball at the Avon 48-yard line and just 19 seconds left to go. So just mathematically speaking, I don't even think you have the time to try to get 2 scores at this point. 4 wide receiver look here. 2 on either side of Arvell Nelson. Romel Phillips in the backfield with him. Now Gary Pritchett motions to the strong side, making a trips look on the top side of your screen. Arvell Nelson, 5-step drop, steps up now in the pocket. It looks like he was going to put everything into it. Now he just throws it away toward the Avon sideline. Arvell Nelson.
And that time he's easily 4 yards past the line of scrimmage.
An interesting decision there. I mean, certainly I got to imagine there's some frustration for that young man right now. It's been a tough night, and there is the flag. But yeah, not even looking to take a shot down the field was Arvell Nelson. So kind of a quintessential white flag of sorts there, I think, from the Glenville quarterback. So it'll be a loss of down and, a 15-yard penalty, right, on the grounding? So 4th and 28.
It's illegal forward pass. I think it's only 5.
I'm sorry. Yeah, illegal forward pass. Just a 5. Okay, so yeah, 4th and 18. It'll be ball at midfield, and so Here it is for Glenville with 11 seconds left to go. 4th down and a ways. Nelson takes the shotgun snap. Steps up in the pocket. Nelson looking. He's going to let this one fly high to the end zone, looking for a man into double coverage, and it's intercepted by number 5, Jerry Clements, the senior captain, bringing that one down. And boy, that young man for Glenville a little slow to get up after that play. That was number 4, Paulie Sadler, the Bowling Green commit.
They're going to call interference on Avon Lake.
Oh, my gosh, they did. Yeah, Avon gets it with the penalty there.
You got to be kidding me.
Well, they also have 2 number 5s out there on defense right now, so you can't do that. That is both Jerry Clements and Gavin Kohler out there for Avon. So one of those two is going to have to exit or swap jerseys or something. But, yeah, defensive pass interference will technically keep this game going. Time has expired.
1 on time down.
Triple zeros on the clock there, so 1 on time down. I mean, I don't know how you really go about this if you're head coach Ted Ginn Sr. Again, not trying to tell any of our head coaches what to do ever, but man, I mean, yeah, a win. I mean, again, mathematically impossible now with the 1 on time down. Do you just take a knee and get out of here healthy, I think, right? Or do you throw one to the end zone? What do you do here on the on time down 12? Guess we'll find out. So Arvell Nelson back out there. And Avon, you can officially give them the win with the 1 on time down coming in. Yeah, Arvell Nelson, he'll just step back and take a knee, and that is the end of the ball game. Avon with a big Week 3 home victory here against Glenville as the Eagles knock off the Tarblooders 28-16. Avon, they move to 2-1 with the win. Glenville, they drop to 2-1 with the loss. We'll be right back with the postgame show here at Avon, but again, your final score here at the home of the Eagles, it is Avon 28, Glenville 16. We'll be back here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, and Tom, we're online elsewhere.
At WEOL.com.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
Lorain County has a story every day. Make sure you don't miss it. From breaking news in high school sports to schools, business, and community events, the Chronicle has it all. Stay connected to your neighbors and your home team with coverage that matters most to you. Don't just hear about Lorain County, know Lorain County. Subscribe today at chroniclet.com/subscribe and get the news that keeps you in the know. The Chronicle Telegram, Lorain County's largest newspaper.
Back here at Avon, it is a final as the Eagles get a big Week 3 home non-conference finale victory over the Tarblooders of Glenville. 28-16 was the final score, and a big thanks to all of you guys for tuning in on the all-new WEOL.com and also watching us live on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Big thanks to our sponsors tonight as well, Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, EcoTree Services, as well as Stewart's TV and Appliance. Rocco Nushi, Tom Evans here with you on the post-game show. Jared Kozar, our on-site engineer tonight. Gary Pelter outside battling the crowd here at Avon, running the camera wonderfully, as he's done all season long. So big shout-out to Pelt for handling those duties here in the early goings of this season. And Tom, again, just a huge Week 3 victory here for Avon. They were coming off that loss down in Florida. Their first Friday night game here tonight in Week 3. Hard to believe, right? You had the Thursday night opener against Ignatius last Thursday down in Florida. They finally get kind of that regular home Friday night game here at Avon, and they get a big 28-16 win over Glenville. Taking a look at the scoring recap here, Avon struck first back in the first quarter. Blake Elder found a Dylan Luker for a 7-yard touchdown reception. The extra point was good, made it 7-0. Glenville would answer right back, though. Romel Phillips, he had it going early in that first quarter. They kind of went away from him, though. I'm not really sure why, but Romel Phillips found the end zone from 3 yards out. The 2-point conversion was no good, so Avon kept a 7-6 lead. Cam Wendell closed out the first half scoring with a 2-yard touchdown plunge. Petro's extra point attempt was blocked, made it 13-6 Avon heading into the half. They extended that lead to 20-6. Cam Wendell found the end zone for the 7th time this season. This time from 5 yards out. The extra point was good, made it 20-6. Although Glenville, they didn't go away. They came right back early in that fourth quarter. It was Davon McDougall on a 5-yard touchdown run. He got around the outside here on that near sideline from us, Tom, in this home press box. Made it 20-14 after the 2-point conversion was good. And then Glenville defensively had a number of opportunities on that following drive to get off the field, get the football back. They thought they did. I mean, they forced a punt, but a 12-man penalty, or 12-man on the field penalty went against Glenville on a 4th and 5. That gave Avon a first down, and then just what was maybe play of the year thus far, at least one of the crazier plays of the year, what maybe could have been a 90-yard pick six, I think, Tom, ends in a 21-yard touchdown pass to Finn Jordanic. 2-point conversion to Grant Barr was good, made it 28-14. We had the late safety, made it 28-16, but that was the end. But really, I mean, that touchdown throw to Jordanic, I mean, that whole drive, but again, the touchdown capping play of that drive, just back-breaking sequence there for Glenville.
Again, just huge. Our angle on that is we're looking straight at that, and we're watching. It looked like Blake threw it a little bit late, and the Glenville defender had such a great break on it. I thought for sure that's a pick six going the other way of a 90-yarder, and somehow Jordanic comes up with it and tiptoes his way into the end zone, and that's the difference maker in the game.
And how big is that for Avon, Tom? The fact that, you got your go-to guy in Grant Barr. We know what he's capable of. We know the kinds of plays that he can make. But when you have other guys like a Finn Jordanic making plays like that, that just makes things not easier offensively, but you can trust more guys out there. It's not just let's go to Grant Barr, let's run Keontae Smith, let's run Cam Wendell. Blake Elder can kind of spread that wealth around a little bit.
Well, the growth in Blake Elder from week 1 to tonight is visible. He managed the game well against St. Ignatius, but he's a much different quarterback 2 weeks later, much more confident quarterback, and boy, he and Barr really have a connection out there, and I think that will bode well for the Eagles as they move forward.
And one last thing that I wanted to hit on here in the post-game show, Tom, before we get some scores and then say goodbye, that Eagle defense, we've hit it over the head a number of times, a lot of self-inflicted wounds from Glenville on both sides of the ball, especially offensively, though. But that Eagle defense, I mean, time and time again, not only tonight, but at so many points in previous seasons under Mike Elder and just even earlier this season, but again tonight here at home in week 3, they come up with the plays that they got to have when they need them. And sometimes football really is as simple as that. You're not going to make every play, right? The other side's good, especially tonight in Glenville. That's a good Tarblooders football team. They're going to make plays. But can your guys make the necessary winning plays when you need to have them most? And that's what Avon did, I think, tonight.
And, Mike will be the first one to give credit to Jared Cicchetti, his defensive coordinator, because he thinks the world of him. And he gets a game plan ready, and he has the team ready. And not just 11 players, 23, 24 players. They come up big on a goal line stand. They make plays when they need to. 6-8 years ago, when you talk to Avon football, you talked all about the offense. Now you talk as much about the defense as you do the offense, and I think that's the reason that they won a state title last year is because they play on both sides of the ball that well, and it really is fun to watch.
Well, and we talked about it. One guy we didn't even mention tonight, maybe once or twice on a couple of tackles, Jacob Witherspoon. Yeah. He was going to go to Ohio State. Now he's going to North Carolina. Rarely mentioned him. Ryan Stolarski we mentioned a couple of times. He's going to Miami, Ohio. But Lance Dawson, he's another Power 5 to me. He's going to Cincinnati. It didn't really have to mention him a whole lot tonight either. So it was really kind of the supplementary guys doing a lot of the dirty work tonight for Avon defensively.
And they do it with team defense. And like I say, it's like watching a hockey game with shift changes. I mean, they're running guys in and out of the field. They're fresh all the way down. I think he played 3 different sets of defensive linemen. That was a completely different set that last series that had been in the game the whole game. So, but credit to them. The kids know their roles. They know their responsibilities. They can step on the field and get it done.
Well, and Mike tells us all the time, it's hard, especially as an underclassman, to play on Friday nights for the Avon Eagles. It is hard, and we saw why, because there's just so many guys on the sideline. And if you're not ready and willing to contribute at a varsity level under the bright Friday night lights, especially against a good powerhouse team like Glenville, you're not going to see the field. But that's not the case. Like you said, you got 20-plus guys on defense that you can rotate in, and that's certainly a luxury to have.
I had this conversation with Mike a couple years ago. We always hear the term next man up. in sports. It isn't next man up here, because you're not given anything at Avon.
Right.
Yeah, if you're gonna be the next guy on the field, you will have earned that. You will have worked hard to get that spot. You're not sitting around waiting for a senior to graduate or somebody to get hurt. That's an active role that you're taking to make sure that you are the next guy on that field.
So no question about that. So again, with the win, Avon, they move to 2-1 on the season. They'll be back in action on the road next week against 3-0 North Ridgeville. That'll be our WEOL.com Stream 2 game. Glenville, they dropped to 2-1. They'll be on the road at St. Edward's next week. Not sure what they were doing tonight as far as their score goes, but St. Ed's obviously a big bad opponent anytime you come across them. Tom, you got some scores from around the area that you want to pass around.
Yeah, final from out at Sandusky. Sandusky over top of the Lorraine Titans, 32-20. Highland a winner over Avon Lake, 34-7. Midview a winner over Elyria Catholic, 41-7. North Ridgeville over North Royalton, 16-6. Final from Olmsted Falls, or from Estrangos, as we said, 24-21. Olmsted Falls in overtime over there. Some of the rest of the scores we had were not finals. We don't know where they ended up, but Amherst was big over North Olmsted, 34-0. Wellington was on over top of Plymouth, 15-4. Brunswick big over Elyria, 35-0. Columbia was big over Northwestern, 28-0. Bay was big over Firelands, and then the final from Manawa, which everybody's waiting on, the Red Wolves with a 36-32 win over the Red Devils of Crestwood.
Had to sneak that one in there, didn't you?
My brother went to bed already, so nobody really cares
Fair
except
enough.
for me.
Fair enough. So my Chronicle Telegram picket lines weren't horrible. I did take the lone loss on this one here tonight, but that's a-okay. You know, I'm happy for Coach Elder and his guys. I'll take a loss in the picket line if it means his guys get a
Don't
win
sell
on the
yourself
field.
short. You're a heck of a slouch.
And I know that now. I know that now.
We knew the Caddyshack quote was coming in to finish the night off, right, Jared?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well, Tom, a pleasure working with you as always.
It was fun,
We don't
Rocco.
get to do it a lot up
No,
here
we
in the press
don't.
box.
It's good.
So,
Good stuff
good
tonight.
To do that. Pelt, good stuff out of you as always, cameraman extraordinaire, and Jared Kozar, our lights out on-site engineer. So for Pelt, for Tom, for Jared, I am Rocco Nucci saying one more time your final score here in the WEOL Gridiron Clash on YouTube and on WEOL.com. It was Avon 28, Glenville 16. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. Have a great night, everybody.